Why do we fall at evening? Silhouettes for the evening. Might just be my type, and I know just what you like, but I'm still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do. Still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do.
I woke up on the 17th, drunk still, you telling me I was in the club full of jealousy. Damn, they caught a felony. One thing I know, two else wanna ride. Get it outside. You better go high. Put it at feet like Clyde. Step with the three like Clyde. Slide, slide. We rock the cream on the pie. Now that's my better side. I can tell a lie. This is televised. Give me better guys.
Still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do. Still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do. Woke up on the 17th with new tattoos, just telling me. In a fantasy that's outstanding me. I'm only on the peak between 10 and 3. Think you move you outside of the west. Down south side by the jacks. Tell me what a time, what a wreck. Never let it down, never let. Always thought T was a wreck. Never thought T was a wreck. Put the iced tea on your neck. When it go cold, make you sweat. Never let you go, never let you go, you the best. But never let it go to your head. I always got control of it. Still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do. Still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do.
Silhouettes for the weekend. It might be my type. They don't know just what you like, but I'm
still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do. Still fucked up, yeah, still fucked up. Don't know what to do. Fuck the club up, stay with my thugs. Please don't make the wrong moves, cause my love been caught. Still fucked.
Today, we're going to talk about football. Okay, 2 words, football. This is Behind the Lines. Did they forget to put the Hokies on there at the bottom? I don't know. Did they forget to put them in there? Was it too much of a lock and people were trying to get too cute with their votes? How did Virginia Tech miss this list? It does not make a lick of sense to me. You know, I'm starting to understand maybe why you guys think I'm a moose shit better sometimes. These losses, they look bad. They do. The wins, they sneak by. Nobody gives a hoot about those.
The Candyman, it's just more of a gut feeling on this one because he's been really bad. But wanted a red square. That's my red square.
If I'm sitting there in the front row and a home run ball's hit to me and I've got no glove in sight, I'm waiting for that puppy to come in. Probably going to break my hand. I don't care because I'm going to make a play like a savage. And this old geezer gets in my way with a glove and catches the ball. We're going to have a talk. There's going to be a conversation had. And I've got, yep, you guessed it, the same fucking square that burned us yesterday because I'm not scared. All right, and I don't quit. What's going on, chat? Happy BTL Friday, episode 541 piece. As always, hold the fry, joined by your 2 hosts, Krabs and Jovan, presented by Bookit Sports. We're finally here, the best BTL day of the fucking week, and we can finally craft up some weekend craft sessions, Jovan. We've got NFL, college football. We have so much on the agenda for today. Okay, we're talking winners for tonight. We're talking winners on Saturday, winners on Sunday. If there's football going on, we've got bets for you guys. We've got you covered every which way. Okay, we're going to go over everything for today. It's going to be a Megalodon episode like the old times. All right, so lock the fuck in. Let's have an absolute Friday, chat. Who knows how long this BTL will last? Probably around 2 hours at least. So let's lock the fuck in and find some winners for you guys this weekend. Plain and simple. Jovan, how we feeling on a Friday morning?
Feeling great. This might be most loaded BTL episode of all time.
Sure. People are calling it that. I'm hearing that all day, all morning, right? Rumors are swirling, and that could be true. That could be true. We got Mook coming in, dropping a subby. Love to see that to get the day started today. Jaden Daniels, most rookie rushing yards, is plus 320 on the blue book. That might be worth a look. That might be worth a look. Okay, we also got the one and only Casper coming in, resubbing as well. Love to see that. The gents are coming in, active, up and moving. Okay, they're here. We already talked about that square yesterday. That was Steamed Krabs. No need to bring that up again. Would you look at that, Jovan? We got a 10-unit sub whale coming in from Aries to get the day started. 10 units.
Death taxes, Aries subbies.
Wow, the subbies are coming in hot right now. We got Prosperous coming in, resubbing as well with Prime. Don't forget, you guys get a free subby with Prime. Don't forget to cash that puppy in. All right, lock in. We got Wade Taylor. That could be the Texas A&M legend. Cannot confirm. Dropping a sub bang as well for 12 months. Love to see that. The boys are active. They're up and moving. And yes, we did start BTL early today because we got a lot to go over. Plain and simple. So why don't we go ahead and cut the shit and dive into the recaps and talk about yesterday's plays. Okay, Jovan, great fucking call on the Pirates team total. Fading my Nats. Hate to see it, but it was green as fuck. Easiest bet of all time. Cashed in the second inning. Okay, that was fucking free. Great fucking call, dude. And shout out Gutsy for a W pivot as well. Look, I know the Chiefs won as well, Jovan, but if you're going to use the veto cards, you know, at least the other squad ride play smack. So that could not have worked out better. Good use of it, Gutsy. Good
kind
shit.
of like a win-win loss situation there, but you know, we take
it was
still green.
It was.
Yeah.
Very green. Could not have been more green. It was the easiest bet on the board.
Inning. Yeah.
Yeah. Easy. Good. We got Casper coming in, giving out 10 subbies to the people. Are you kidding me, Casper? Fucking dialed in on a Friday, dude. Chat, get the fuck up. Drop some W's. If you just got blessed up with a subby, let us know. Let us know. Okay. Godson said he went to the grocery store, picked up a couple things. Next thing you know, it already cashed. Yep. That's how it went. That's what I call a W veto card, if I've ever seen one. But Jovan, also, let me give you your flowers on the Chiefs ML. That was a great fucking read. They were never losing that game, even with that bullshit at the end. Okay, great call.
Tried their hardest, but yeah, they were never losing.
We got bets with Brian coming in, 26-month sub bang. That's a seasoned veteran if I've ever seen one. W, Brian, love to see it. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Sharp report recap. I went 2-2-1, and people acted like I went 0-100s, and they hate my fucking guts. That's all I'm going to say. Jovan, 3-1-1. We take that. Great fucking work.
Sure.
Great fucking work. You want to bitch about De La Bonds a little bit because you should have been 4-1.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't start, which I guess is kind of understandable with how cold he's been, but he came in, pinch hit, and still hit that. So I wish that would have counted, but unfortunately, that's not how it works in this economy.
It's not how it works. Nope.
Yeah.
I had one of those happen in person at the Orioles game a couple weeks ago. That was moose shit. Moose shit.
Yeah,
guy pinch hits.
Right.
Mountcastle. Yep. Pinch hits, gets a hit, gets an RBI. You know it's coming, right? As soon as he gets on base, you know he's fucking scoring. What do you know? He does, but it doesn't count because he didn't start. Okay.
Yeah.
But a push, you know, no qualms with a push. We move. Okay. Just like that under in the game last night. Also had a push as well. Chat, let's keep the vibes up today. If you're bitching in chat, if you're calling my plays moose shit, if you're making fun of the Derrick Henry play, go ahead. Okay. You have your fucking time. If that makes you feel better about your life, you know what? Go ahead. Rip me a new one. That's fine. I'm not going to give any time, Twitter attention.
People sleep. I mean, your play on Mahomes rush yards got shit on maybe pretty close to as much, especially on the surge stream. And that was
people
free.
Hated that play's guts. People said that play, you're not dialed. You're just clicking fucking buttons. Well, it was a fucking Green Bay. Okay. Yeah, there it is.
He was not even close for a majority of the game.
He had fucking 3 yards, dude.
Yeah.
He had 3 rushing yards.
He only got close towards the end when he had that long run.
Yeah, dude. He was in negative yardage, though, at that point. It didn't even matter.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh, man. Krabs, this is Fuzzy from the Mount. $100 giveaway on an anytime touchdown lay this weekend and split the winnings to a local charity. Fuzzy Mangoes. I could get down with that. We typically craft up an anytime touchdown score graphic for the weekend. We don't have to dust that puppy off. Maybe you parlay those puppies together. Okay. We'll see what we can do for you. All right. Yeah, Chad, I'm done with hearing the bullshit. I know the Derrick Henry play was absolute moose. We're going to talk about that here in a moment. But I feel good. NFL's back. I'm not hearing any yapping or bitching. I'm giving out winners, and I'm working my butt off to do it. And that's all I care about. And I know the real ones. They understand it. They see it. So we move. We take a 2 in one day. I'm not happy about it, but it could have been worse. And I'm going to give you guys more winners for tonight and the weekend. Very confident in it. Okay. Let's keep moving here. Jovan, it might be time just to rip the Band-Aid off and do a little Steamed Krabs segment. We got 30
Sure.
a minute for me to bitch.
Of course.
Goots, run that shit. Speaking of King Henry, I will say this is probably the most moose shit bet of the NFL season. This is up there with Travis Hunter, fading him to score a touchdown. The worst part is, Jovan, this dude didn't do shit the rest of the game. Derrick Henry looked useless out there. He had, averaging 3.5 yards per carry, 46 yards in the game. They didn't even get a 50 piece after they brought him in, future Hall of Famer. They only ran him 13 times. Makes no sense to me. Everybody knows Derrick Henry gets better as the game progresses, right? He's a second half runner. He needs more reps. I just don't understand. I knew it. We saw it coming with the Ravens using all their running backs, but I don't know. It doesn't make much sense to me. You need to run Derrick Henry a lot, and they did not get him activated enough to get comfortable. He really didn't look very strong, but Jovan can't script it. They drove down the field with ease on that first drive, and they punched in a touchdown with Derrick Henry, a 5-yard run, his best run of the day. You can't script this shit. I watched his odds go from -140 to -120, -110. It got down to -105, some books for him to score. I thought it was the sharpest play on the fucking boards. Jovan, sometimes those bets still don't cash. It happens. Okay, if they cashed every time, we wouldn't be on here doing this fucking show. That's for sure. We'd be rich as fuck in a mansion in Cabo, counting our guap. We can't hit every single one. All right, and I promise you I'll come back with some winners this weekend. But Derrick Henry, less than a touchdown, that was a moose shit wager. That was a terrible play.
Yeah, it was a quail wager. I can't say anything too much about that, Krabs.
No, it was bad. He scored immediately with ease and then doesn't do shit the rest of the game. You cannot script it, man. Unbelievable. But we're going to move and we're going to groove. And I got to stop doing those giveaways because every time I tweet a giveaway, whatever I'm trying to take loses and it's not even fucking close. Okay, and I end up giving away all my coins. So I have to take a timeout on the giveaways for
maybe you should do
these cheeky squares.
Maybe you should do giveaway if it hits.
Yeah, that could be the move. Always trust in Krabs Revenge Day. I like where your head's at, Chalky. I like where your head's at, bro. Once I saw the giveaway tweet, I knew it was caked. Yep, probably a good sign there, Alta Gelato. Sure. All right, let's move. Let's groove. Enough bitching about the past. We got plenty to go over for today. Before we dive into the Sharp Report, winners for tonight, Jovan, I want to let the people know they can still join the Survivor poll. If they want to get involved, get active, get up and moving, you guys can still join and you can still win a bunch of Prize Picks promo as well if you're the last man standing. Get involved, all right? It cannot be easier to join. It's free to join, and the link is right here in the chat. So go ahead and join, get active, get up and moving. Takes 30 seconds or less to sign up and get involved, okay? My Survivor pick this weekend, probably going to be the Bills, is what I came to the conclusion of yesterday. Probably going to be the Bills, but we'll see. Seattle also looking at me funny. The more I look at that game, the more I think they win, but we'll see. Probably going to be Buffalo, though, for me. Jovan, what are you thinking right now for Survivor?
I haven't clicked the button yet, but I'm in the same exact headspace. I really want to do everything in my power to avoid the Bengals because I still think they're going to win, but it's a scary side to be on. So I might pick between Bills and Seahawks.
Yep, sure. Before we dive in, I don't want to be rude here. Let me go ahead and give Goots the floor if he wants it. Goots, you want to do a steam Gootsy for the Ravens last night? Any comments, any words about the game?
Last night, after it, there was a lot of anger, a lot of sadness, but I woke up this morning early, got to work for the people to get the plays out on BTL today, so I don't really have much to say. It's the first game of the season. Lamar led a game-tying drive and lost by a pubic hair, so that's all I'm going to tell myself.
Sure.
If they're going to say that's the worst we're going to look all year, that's what I'm going to think, and I'm going to act the same way that they're acting. I'm going to be better this year than I was last year. So,
wow,
Ravens mindset.
Let me ask you something, Goots.
I'm listening.
Did you feel confident at all, like with Lamar? Did you watch the game last night and say Lamar is able to throw the ball downfield?
Yes.
I want to hear your take.
Yes.
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 When exactly was that?
That last drive when he led us down the field to tie the game in a game under 2 minutes with no timeouts. That's what told me.
The one Bateman throw, though, outside of that, did you feel confident at any point?
You mean the one that he missed before the pubic hair toe?
No, I'm saying the outside of the one dot he threw to Bateman.
Oh.
Like, did you feel confident at any point of the game of him throwing the ball?
He drove us down the field. What do you mean?
I know. I'm saying the entire game. The entire game.
The entire game. Yeah.
I was just curious because I feel like there's a stark divide between the Lamar and Ravens fans, what they thought about Lamar in that game before that drive and everybody else.
I do like how he still, uses legs, unlike the AFC Championship where his legs were non-existent whatsoever. he still found a way to use them and also throw the ball efficiently on some drives. It's not like Mahomes, the greatest quarterback of all time, was efficient on every drive. It's not going to be.
Yeah, I was asking because it seemed like a pretty simple conclusion that he was throwing a lot of dump downs and could not throw the ball downfield, and everybody was bitching about that on Twitter. But Ravens fans and Dave were saying he looked like Mahomes that in the game.
I mean,
I was interested to hear where you stand.
It's probably somewhere in the middle is the realistic answer, right? Could have looked better, could have looked worse. I will say, though, I mean, that missed touchdown pass there before the out of bounds touchdown. I mean, that was also on the receiver too for over.
No one's going to watch.
Well, no, he said it wasn't Zay.
Yeah, he was throwing it to Bateman because he saw.
That makes
Bateman,
the throw worse.
He saw Bateman open for a second, and as he was throwing it, he saw Zay go over. But no one's going to watch that interview. They're just going to bitch about it on Twitter with the clip and be like, "Blah blah blah, running back one." Whatever.
That makes the throw worse because Zay not stopping, I could give him credit for, but that was nowhere close to Bateman. If that was what he said it was.
People make bad throws. We're not all perfect.
I know. I was just saying it was a bad throw. But I mean, I was just saying in general. Like I was interested to hear.
The ceiling for Lamar has to be higher than everyone else's for people to respect him.
Yeah. Well, it's because he can run. Like he's
good.
A dynamic.
He's
a dynamic
guy.
I know. I'm not taking away from that. I think he was fantastic on the ground. That could be the game changer. He just can't throw the ball down the field.
Yeah. Well,
Keats, I'd rather have Lamar at QB than Baker on my team.
Agreed.
That's for sure.
And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to let people keep bitching. It's just, I'll use a Dion quote. Just know we coming.
It'll be all right, Keatsy. Could be worse. If people are bitching and people are talking, that means your team is solid. That means you got a chance. People don't bitch about the Commanders. They know they suck. Right?
I don't know. There's some Commanders bitching.
Well, there is. It's been a while. People are hungry. Okay. But let's keep moving and grooving here. We could talk about the Ravens and Lamar throwing for 2 hours, or we could give the people some winners. Why don't we dive into the sharp report for today? Yeah. Let's go over some plays we like. And what other better way to start a BTL Friday Megalodon episode, Jovan, than with the Nationals on the ML? Plain and simple. Here's the deal. We got the Nats catching minimal steam. I don't know, 5 cents or so on the ML. My guy DJ Ernst is up there on the bump. Ready to absolutely fucking shove. He hasn't been his best in his last couple outings, but I trust him against the Pirates. I think he gets hella strikeouts and smacks that 5.5 number. But the main bet in this game is back in the Nats bats to bounce back after getting embarrassed last night and scoring against Ortiz. Now, Ortiz has been really good recently, Jovan. He's coming off of 2 absolute gems, and I'm sure you've taken a peep at that prize pick square up there for him and his earned runs. Although I'm not trying to target that one. I do like them more than 2.5, though, obviously. I do think the Nats bats get to him, and I think it's a good matchup for the Nats. They struggled a lot the other nights when they were facing, I'm blanking on the guy's name, but they were facing a starting pitcher that threw like 90 miles an hour, Jovan. He really had no velo, and I'm trying to remember the name. Like Belazzo, on the Marlins. Was it Belazzo? Belazzo, yeah. Belazzo on the Marlins when they were facing him. Yeah, he's meat, but he throws 90, and we suck against that. So we got a bunch of young, quick bats who are good against velo. And the higher the velo, honestly, the better we perform as long as it's against a righty. And I feel good against our matchup against Ortiz. I feel like it's a perfect matchup for the Nats. And I want to sell high on Ortiz, who's been really good recently, and back the Nats bats to bounce back after getting embarrassed last night. And I think Hers can go out there and do enough. Okay. Nats ML, one of my favorite plays today. It just so happens to be, it's on first play of the sharp report. It is what it is. I'm not happy about it, but love that play on the diamond today to get the bankroll built up early. 640 start.
Rare time I actually agree when you're taking the Nats bats, but
wow.
I took a little different angle for the game. I just want to take the over because this game, I do think it starts with the Nats bats, and I think it could be very similar to yesterday's game where maybe they go over it themselves just like the Pirates did, and we still get runs from the other side of the game. But I think Luis Ortiz, who by the way 15-inning scoreless streak, and we have that 2.5 earned run square up on prize picks against the Washington Nationals. That's going to go in the way that you think is going to go. But on the other side, I really can't trust DJ Hers. I know the Pirates haven't been great against lefties, but a couple of those guys at the top of the lineup, whether it's Kutch, whether it's Reynolds, even like lefty O'Neal Cruz, I think they match up pretty well. So there's going to be a shot or two. And if DJ Hers cannot command the strike zone, he starts walking guys. That's giving runs to an offense that you really don't want to give runs to because you make them beat you and they can't really do it, especially if you're lefty. So I think that's going to happen. Bullpens are both bad, so I'll take the over, but I'm with you. I think the Nationals probably win the game and do a majority of it.
Thought it was interesting that you can only really back hers to do well on Prize Picks with the strikeout square. Like everything else you can take for hers, you're taking as more than on a fucking Goblin. It's juicy to the over, right? Like his earned runs, his hits allowed, his walks allowed, and they all look like freebie easy plays, right? If you look at the charts, and they are, Goblins, right? So, I mean, they're minus money, they're fucking juicy, but that's weird. Like they won't even let you back him to do well really today. And I feel like that's always a pretty good sign for an arm.
Could be.
I think DJ goes out there and shoves personally, but maybe I'm a little bit biased there. I think either way, we can agree on Nat's bats getting active and up and moving against Ortiz.
Yep. Agree on that.
Sure. All right, Gutesy, what else do I got, my man? Let's get to my second play. I like this one. Stick with me here. This might take a minute. I thought about taking the under in this game, and then I realized how fucking good Framber Valdez has been of late, and it scared the living shit out of me taking another under that involves him. He's been so fucking good. Unbelievable, to be honest with you. And I do like the under in this game. I do still think it hits, and we know how well, Houston unders perform, in MLB. They honestly print overall. They have for literally years. But I'm going to go with the Houston team total under here and isolate. I like the D-backs in this game. And I thought about taking them plus 1.5. I thought about taking the money line. I really like Brandon Pfaadt, and he's got some Prize Pick squares up there today that make me think he's going to go out there and shove against the Astros, which I thought was pretty interesting considering he's got that 4+ ERA. He doesn't have the big name, and he's going against one of the hottest pitchers in the league right now in Framber Valdez, and the Astros, who are 10 games over 500s, not playing their best ball of late. I know they've lost 3 in a row, but they're still looking like they're going to make the playoffs and make a potential run here, and they're still the Astros. I thought Pfaadt was getting a lot of respect on Prize Picks, not only with the earned run square that we're going to talk about here in a moment, but his hits allowed square that's green as fuck, kind of low, in my opinion, against a really good Astros team. I just don't think Houston's bats get going here. And although I like Arizona plus 1.5 and the ML, I decided to just fade the Houston bats and really lean into that Prize Picks angle with Brandon Pfaadt. They're gassing him up like he's going to have an absolute gem today.
Yeah, I like the D-backs today. I was debating putting them on the sharp report too, but I already have a big dog sitting there, so I didn't want to double up, but
sure,
I might add them to the card. I think they're going to win the game, so I'm kind of with you.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe the plus 1.5 was the move then, but we could talk about that game more a little bit here later. Yeah. Aloha Bets asking the right questions. I promise you, my man, we will talk about the college football games tonight, even though they are pretty moose shit. We'll talk about all 3 of those puppies. All right. We got Kobe coming in, resubbing. Krabs betting on the Birds. Oh, boy. Yeah, that should be a good look, right, Kobe? We'll see how that plays out. Okay. Before we talk about football and the Eagles, though, let's go to Javon's cards. I want to hear what he's got for play number 2.
Jay's on the ML, plus 150 against the Braves on the road.
Yep.
Rare time, just like I don't back Freddie Peralta very often, and I'm very often fading him more times than not. Same thing with Kevin Gausman. I am a serial Kevin Gausman fader, but not today against the Braves because, first of all, he's on the road, which I love. Kevin Gausman can't figure out how to pitch in Toronto for God knows what reason, but when he's on the road, he's been a much, much better pitcher this season. But he's also facing a Braves team that's super, super aggressive. So, like, the problem with Gausman, he's actually been, like, kind of decent recently, but the problem with him all season is the splitter's not splitting, so it's staying in the zone. Then he made the adjustment. He was trying to go further out of the zone, and teams weren't biting. The Braves bite. So, like, when you leave it in the zone for the Braves, they are, I don't know, they can hit the ball hard. That's what they do. That's what they're built for. They strike out a lot, though, and they chase. So, like, if Gausman can get the splitter below the zone, which he's been doing a much, much better job of recently, I think he's going to have a pretty decent outing. And I think the 7.5 total that we're getting in this game, yes, it's Kevin Gausman versus Max Fried, so big-name pitchers, but Kevin Gausman has not been good recently, or just overall this season. He's been better recently, but the 7.5 total tells me he's going to pitch somewhat well today. And on the other side, the Blue Jays, even though that lineup doesn't have many huge names, like because you see Ernie Clement and guys like that in the lineup, you don't really get excited about backing the Blue Jays. Sneakily, the guys they put in the lineup as of late have been years better against left-handed pitching than the guys that they're trotting out at the start of the season. So it's a sneaky, I'm not going to call it like an A situation because they're not crushing lefties, but they have been so much better over the last couple weeks. That I think against Max Fried, who's a guy that's not going to strike out many Jays, or at least shouldn't on paper. I think they're going to be sneaky and win this game. Always scary backing the bullpen, but the Braves bullpen is not made a steal either. So I feel like this is
No.
a sneaky game the Jays pull out and win. And not to mention this game gives me, like, whenever I take the Reds as a big dog vibes, because you have Fried, who's been great against the Jays team, who's been reinventing ways to lose, Kevin Gausman, who nobody wants to back, and what do you know? We're getting the line inching towards the Blue Jays in Atlanta, too, of all places.
Yeah.
So, give me the Jays.
The Braves have not been that scary team at home that they've been in years past. That's for sure. I mean, I could tell you that for a fact with the Nats having success down there in Atlanta this year for the first time ever in my life. They have a winning record down there against the Braves in Atlanta, which is crazy. So it's stuff like that that makes me just feel this team is a fraud and really back that confidence there. I'm with you. I love that play, Jovan. I was eyeing Toronto as well. And I'm more than down to back Gausman here on the road in the spot and fade Fried, who also just looks off as well, just like Atlanta this entire season. So weird.
For what
I hope you're
in this little, I don't know, homestand that the Braves just started. They had that series against the Rockies where, I mean, I think they won 2 of the 3, but like they didn't score much in that series, which I thought was odd. So maybe that carries over to this series, which would be great.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you're right, man, because the Mets right now are absolutely cooking. I don't want to jinx them, but you guys know I have that Mets and Padres future for either one of those teams to make the World Series. And the Mets right now are really trying to stay involved. And, I think they're still, a half game back in that last wild card spot. They're hanging around. We'll see if the Mets can overtake the Braves for that last spot. I feel like that's going to come down to the wire, although nobody really expect that on paper, right? That Mets team versus the Braves. Come on now. But the Mets are playing good ball. They've won like 8 games in a row, man. And they're favorites again today. They're catching 20 cents of steam. Manea against Cruz. They probably get another win too. They probably make it 9. I wouldn't be shocked. What do we know about streaks in baseball? You don't fade them. You don't. The Mets are honestly probably a pretty good late piece, if we're being honest today. They probably are. All right, you ready to talk about some NFL? I know we both got NFL plays tonight in this big game over there in Brazil. Why don't you get it started off? Talk about some points. We got that up on the screen right now. Talk about why you like some points in this game tonight between Love and Hurts.
Yeah, so I mean, I can start with the Eagles because you're also on the Eagles, and I like the Eagles. I'm just a little scared after taking the Chiefs as favorites last night and getting that win. And I don't want to go back to it personally. I know you're in a little different spot because you went with the under instead, but I want to lay off of a side in this game. But I like points. I like the Eagles' offense especially. We've been talking about that all offseason. The add of Saquon Barkley, I feel like a lot of people have not been giving that the love it deserves because, I don't know, they think Saquon's washed. They think Saquon is inefficient. They think Saquon's not as big an asset to the offense as he really is. But I think he's going to vastly change everything for that offense. And I love not only the add of him, but I love the add of Kellen Moore. I think he's going to get guys out of space. That's what he does best. And I feel like the offense just as a whole is going to be schemed light years better. And this is a Packers defense that, I don't know, long-term I think is going to get better when Jeff Hafley, who funny enough, BC guy, I think he's going to get his guys in eventually, but I don't think this is the year where the defense is going to take such a massive step forward. So I want to fade that out of the gate. I think the Eagles show something out of the gate. And on the other side too, like the Eagles have changed the defense a little bit. They brought in some pieces where I think they're going to be better over time, but a big part of stopping the Packers is stopping the stuff over the middle. The guy that they have sitting there is Devin White, who I've watched with the Bucs for a couple of years. He's a great blitzer, but he cannot cover the middle of the field to save his life. And that's going to be his main responsibility tonight. So that scares me a lot if I'm just backing the Eagles. But for the Packers offense, I think that bodes really, really well for points. So I like that. The over did not eventually get there as much as it looked like it did or was going to for a majority of the game last night. Now I think it happens with this weird Brazil game. I think we get points straight out of the gates.
I'm hearing rumors that maybe Devin White might not be active and up and moving today.
I mean, that's even better because they have no depth there now.
Interesting point here from Achilles. Eagles lost a bunch of games in a row. Packers almost made the Super Bowl. No way your Packers are a plus money gift, right? I could not agree more, Achilles, and that's why I like the Eagles in this game, although I think Jovan is on the right track here with the over as well. I definitely lean that way on the total. And the splits look pretty good for you on the over here, Jovan. 40% of bets, 60% of handle. So some bigger bets being placed on some points tonight in Brazil. We know that's what the NFL wants. And you got to be feeling pretty happy that game last night kind of stalled out and ended up pushing or at least barely going over for some people, right? It's got to be a good sign for points tonight as well. I'm definitely a little bit scared about the Eagles here after we saw the Chiefs win as a favorite in the first game of the season, but I'm trusting my gut. I'm trusting my stones because that's what I do best in the NFL, and I've got the Eagles winning this game, and I don't really think it's going to be close, and I do think there will be some points scored. I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring affair, but I think it'll be the Kellen Moore breakout game here. I think he's going to use all of his weapons. I know the Packers have a pretty solid defense, but Kellen Moore coming in and improving not only A.J. Brown's stock, but Devonta Smith, and who knows? I mean, Jahan Dotson, the Eagles are the biggest trolls of them all. Wouldn't it be something if we see Jahan Dotson out there up and moving? He's a starter on the depth chart already, and let's see if he can do something. They got plenty of fucking weapons. They had Saquon Barkley. This team is no longer really one-dimensional as much as they were, in my opinion, rushing-wise, but they also still got better rushing adding Saquon, although they lose Kelsey, obviously, which is huge up front. I feel like Jalen Hurts will be a better passer this season with Kellen Moore coming in, and he's got plenty of weapons at receiver, and that's how they're going to pick apart the Packers. It's probably not going to be all Saquon, but they have that in their back pocket as well. I think the Eagles win this game like 30-25 is what I'm expecting, something like that. Although 25 is not possible, but maybe 30-24. And I think the Eagles win this game with ease in a high-scoring affair. Okay, splits look okay for the Eagles. I mean, they're going to be public. But some bigger bets being placed on the spread in ML as well. We'll see where they end up around kickoff.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I don't know where this sentiment comes from everybody, because like that's couldn't be further from the truth. That was like what when we were talking about Saquon in the offseason, what really kept me going to, because when you actually look at the numbers and the running back usage, and don't just look at your eyes and box score watch, like the Cowboys every single year have been like top 10 in running back usage and top 10 in running the ball. So like it's a pretty big staple of the Kellen Moore offense. I don't know if people realize that, and especially now that they brought Saquon in. You don't bring him in to not use that as the crutch of your offense.
It's facts.
So like I think it's going to be that kind of year, and you start early against this defense.
Agreed. And I don't disagree with this point. But I will say, I mean, the Ravens O-line honestly overperformed my expectations last night, at least pass protection-wise. Pass protection-wise. Yeah. I thought they did better than I expected against that Chiefs D-line. I did.
That's
not
great.
Rushing-wise. They blocked terribly rushing-wise.
You don't think Lamar had time at all, John?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
He did.
Chris Jones was in the backfield all day. Literally,
he's in the backfield once a drive.
Every other play, dude.
Not every other play.
Their pass blocking was better.
The worst part was the penalties, which is those illegal shifts that the Chiefs were doing. They weren't even calling for the Chiefs.
Their pass blocking was better than I thought. Their rush blocking was terrible.
They have defensive coordinators calling timeouts. They're not supposed to call timeouts. It's the head coach. The Chiefs play a different brand of football in this league. They get better calls. All this bullshit. It's all for Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, whatever.
No, Goots. Don't succumb to that.
They do. Your assistant coaches can't call timeouts, and no one gives a shit about it.
I know, but that's not why they lost, Gootsy.
It isn't. But still, like, they shouldn't get special privileges.
Well, here, let me ask you this, because, I mean, I don't think Lamar threw the ball well really at all last night until the end of the game. But the one acceptable answer I can give Ravens fans is that he didn't have much time to do so. So it's got to be one or the other, because the Chiefs O-line or the Chiefs D-line was literally, they had rent in the backfield. Mm-hmm. So like if you want to give me that and you want to give Lamar an excuse for not being able to throw the ball downfield, I will accept that. But you got to pick one or the other.
It's just if that's the case, I feel like we wouldn't even had a chance to even tie the game at the end. And that even shows that Lamar's even better, because he had a bad line and he still was able to have a chance.
I'm not saying their pass protection was good, but it was definitely better than their rush protection, and it was better than I was expecting heading into that game, knowing how bad their line was going to be.
Yeah.
We'll
their rush blocking was
disagree
terrible
on those.
Okay. Derrick Henry was like blocking for himself out there when he was running the ball. That was bad.
Yeah, I mean, that was
run. I will totally say
run blocking. You can talk about the pass blocking all you want. The run blocking was terrible.
Yeah, terrible. Chris Jones did eat too. I agree. Let's keep moving here though. Yeah, I think the Eagles are going to have an absolute field day today on offense, right? I love that comment from Achilles earlier in chat talking about how the Packers finished the season strong. Eagles really did not, and I want to buy stock in this Eagles team this season like we've talked about, Jovan, on the podcasts. And speaking of podcasts, we do have the AFC pod out right now. If you guys are looking for something to listen to this afternoon, this weekend, before Sunday, please check out the AFC pods, okay? There's so many good Phil's nugs, and tidbits and info and winners involved in this podcast. It's over an hour. And we've also got the NFC one going up today as well. So make sure you listen to the AFC puppy before you get to the NFC this weekend. Check both of them out. They're worth your time. Let me know in the comments section on the YouTubes for the AFC and the NFC one who you think is winning each conference. I'm going to go through the comments later today and see what you guys are thinking. We made our predictions on there on the pods towards the end of the show. Okay, and you guys can always listen on Spotify and Apple as well. All right?
Yep.
I'm hearing some W pods in chat. It was good. You guys liked it. W's. I believe Coin Toss is coming out later today as well, Pip. I'm sure Gucci can confirm that too. Yes.
Yeah, later today.
Yes.
The audio for the NFC pod is up, but the video will be up after BTL.
Word.
And
So
then
Spotify,
CoinToss.
Apple, you guys can listen to that puppy now. If you want the video, you got to wait a couple hours, but it'll be up later. Okay.
And then
Check those
CoinToss will be
puppies
after.
out. Sure. Coin Toss out later today. Gooch puts too much fucking elbow grease, blood, sweat, and tears into getting these puppies out, up and moving for you guys not to give them a listen and drop a like on the YouTube. Okay. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Okay. Shout out Gates. And I'm not going to lie. I love hearing Gooch defend his squad. Like he's literally in uniform as he should be.
I love it.
That's all I'm going to say. Gooch, you're saying all the right things, brother. You're backing your team. You sound like me talking like a bozo about my Manders. You got so much fucking heart, man. So much fucking heart. I respect it. Keep doing your thing, brother. All right, let's move. We wrapped up the straight bets for today. Can we power through the prize pick squares for the people? Because we got to get to the weekend plays too.
Yeah, we got some
power through the prize pick squares. Okay. I got 2 for tonight. This is a weird one that you probably wouldn't expect from me. Looking at the chart, at least, it is a Reddit out chart, which would make people probably want to take the more than. And it is Jake Elliott, who's an absolute fucking animal. This guy's a machine, great kicker, under the radar. But I'm fading him today. And he's -125, super juicy to the under on the books. I think there's going to be a lot of points in this game, Jovan, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of field goals. I think there's going to be a lot of drives that are finished. And I'm really excited to see this Eagles team in the red zone. They have so many different ways to score and move the rock in that part of the field, whether it's Hurts, running. And although I don't think that'll be more of a factor this season, with them losing their center, I don't think he's going to be more involved in the rushing game, but it was pretty clear he was hurt last year and they really stopped running him a lot. So you're going to see him running a little bit more off the rip this season. I'm hearing he's pretty healthy. So they've got that. They've got Saquon now. They've obviously got plenty of fucking weapons at receiver. Are you kidding me? No excuses for this team to fucking not finish drives. And the Packers defense, they're pretty good. They're above average, I would say, but they don't stress me out too much in the red zone. And I think the Eagles are going to have plenty of success with Kellen Moore coming in, making a statement in his first game at OC here after he's had some tough seasons and some doubters, right? In years past, there have been, but Jovan, you and me know he is a bright football mind. It's only a matter of time before he puts it all together. And I want to buy stock right now in this Eagles team and their offense to finish drives and fade Jake Elliott. And I thought it was pretty fucking weird in a game with a high total where Jake Elliott typically thrives after we saw 1 million field goals last night, that Jake Elliott was juiced to the under on the books for his less than 1.5 field goals. Pretty weird.
No weird. Maybe they're just running the brotherly again.
Yeah, I think they'll be finishing drives. And I think they'll be scoring touchdowns and not many field goals today is what I'm expecting. Okay.
Yep.
Brandon Fought, kind of already talked about that earlier, Jovan, but loving that square, which is also juiced -120 to the under on the books as well. One of my favorite bets today is the Astros team total under, and looking at Fought's prize pick squares, I couldn't decide really between this one, the earned runs, and the hits allowed, but the hits allowed was juiced to the over on the book, so I let that be the deciding factor. But I do like both of those plays. Fought less than hits allowed and his less than earned runs allowed. I think he goes out there and absolutely shoves in a game that soars under. I think he goes out there and deals. I mean, Prize Picks knows something about him dealing today, and Fought has treated me well in games past. This guy is pretty inconsistent, but if you back him in the right time, he goes out there and shoves. So looking at that total, as low as it is today, I think he goes out there and absolutely deals, and I'll take his less than 2.5 earned runs in a game where I have Houston's team total under.
In on that.
W's. Sure. Let's hear your 2 Prize Pick squares. What do you got?
I'm going to take the vaunted square that you were talking about. Luis Ortiz, more than his earned runs, 15-inning scoreless streak. Now you get to face the Nationals, which, I mean, they're a shit team on paper, but the problem is Luis Ortiz is really bad against lefties. The Nationals, with this lineup they're putting out right now, have a lot of them that I think are going to do damage and match up really well too. So even the Nats score runs early and often. Obviously, you can get down with that. And then Saquon receiving yards. This is a similar thing to, I don't know, what people thought about Derrick Henry, I guess, because people were thinking when the teams make these big additions, they don't really take into consideration that teams are going to change their schemes. Like with Derrick Henry, the Ravens ran a lot more 2 tight end sets because that's what's going to happen when you have Derrick Henry, especially in short yardage situations. Now the Eagles have Saquon. Now they also have Kellen Moore, who loves to get his running backs into space and the flats. People just kind of assume that Jalen Hurts, just because he's not used the flats and really his whole career in the NFL to this point, that he's never going to do it. You're going to watch him do it this year. That's going to be one of the big reasons that they're able to stretch the field in this offense. So everybody seems to be not on the Saquon train, especially in the receiving game. I'll be on the Saquon train in the receiving game. 2 guys I really love tonight, Saquon and Devontae Smith. I'm taking them both, but got to take Saquon, and I will be involved.
Okay. Well, that's a square right up your fucking alley, if I've ever seen one, bro. Saquon receiving yards.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And Luis Ortiz, I mean, enough said. Sign me up, please. Thank you for putting that on your fucking sharp report.
Had to be done.
That makes my day. Had to be done. Had to be done. I'm hearing rumors that Jamar Chase is a pussy. People are saying in chats. I'm looking at Twitter right now. I'm hearing that he will consider playing this Sunday, even without a new contract, but he's calling himself a game-time decision. That sounds like he's whining and being a prima donna wide receiver like they always are, and he's still going to play, which is huge news, is what that sounds like to me. It sounds like he's just going to carry on the bitch and just a little bit longer, milk it just a little bit more, and then he will show up on Sunday to play. Who knows how he'll do, but, I mean, he has a decent matchup against the Patriots, so no excuses. Figure it out, all right? Him and Burrow, I mean, how much fucking practice does Jamar Chase need? Give me a break.
Yeah.
Go out there and fucking run routes against the Patriots, and you're going to get fucking 7-8 catches.
Fries, dude. Fries in the bag. See, T. Higgins got out of the injury report now, too?
No way.
I don't know what the deal is there. But
they might need Jamar to fucking play then. Jesus.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Y'all have any Survivor Pool best plays? Weird week 1. We talked about this earlier, though, TD. For me, it's probably the Bills, maybe the Seahawks, but probably the Bills. And Jovan, I think, said it was in the same boat as well.
Yeah, same boat.
If you have big cojones, you could take the Panthers, but I would not recommend that. Although I do think they win that game. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit. All right. Jovan, I love these prize pick squares, man. I'm going to smack these together, our 4 squares for today, in a little 4-man lineup and see how it goes. All right.
Yep.
Dubs, let's keep moving and grooving here, folks. We have a lot to get to today. We're going to spoon feed you guys all the winners. I feel like right now we should look at the college football games for tonight real quick. I know it's not going to take long. Some of these games are moose shit. One of them involves Western Illinois, which brings me back to the college basketball days. Geeks me out. I have no thoughts really on Indiana, although I really like Rourke and that offense, and I like that team this season. I guess I would lean their spread, but I'm not playing it. What do you think?
Yeah, same at base. I do kind of like Indiana, but I mean, this is a blowout game that I have zero interest in getting involved in.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'm with you. What about BYU and SMU? That's a little bit of a better game, right? SMU barely skated by with a win in week 1 or week 0, excuse me. And then they got a pretty big win last week against a moose shit team. Are we buying stock into SMU right now, Jovan? Do we think they might be legit and week 0 was just kind of shaking some rust off? Or are you not buying into SMU's high-powered offense?
I'm definitely not buying into SMU really at all this year. I was never on that train, and I never really am, but I don't mind them in this game because I'm probably equally as low on BYU, especially if this game turns into a little bit of a track meet, which I think it has the potential to be. Because Jake Retzlaff cannot get into a shootout, even if Preston Stone or even if it's Kevin Jennings for part of the game is not on his best game. So like I am very out on the BYU offense. I'll say that, but I kind of lean SMU. I don't want to get involved in this game because I despise that team, and I think they're one of the most overrated teams in the country, but it's where my head's at.
Okay. All right. Anything in Duke Northwestern, Jovan? That total's low as heck. Maybe some wind in the forecast, people are saying. Apparently there's always some weird weather out there in Northwestern in that stadium until they get that new guy up and moving. But I'm also seeing Duke down from +2 to +1.5. Maybe it's Duke on the road here. That total's low as fuck, though. Kind of makes me think it's an under game, but not really looking to bet that one. What do you think?
Yeah, it's probably an under game. It's also just, I mean, somebody was mentioning the Duke love earlier. I've seen it on the feed. You saw it coming into this season because Malik Murphy, I guess, is cool, but he's not a good quarterback. So like seeing them at plus chick is very enticing when they're playing a Northwestern team that nobody really likes, even though it is on the road. It's on that like temporary stadium. So whether they were there or at their actual stadium that's getting built up, like there's not really any significant home field advantage. But yeah, I'm not running to Duke in this one.
Rav
no book on the
POD.
under.
Okay. Sure. He got a good number too. WCLV. Things are about to get ugly. The amount of negative aura in these two images is astounding. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay. We'll see how it plays out. I like that under as well, but I will not be betting that. I don't think I'm going to bet any of these 3 games tonight, to be completely honest with you. Chat,
I really don't want to either.
You guys looking to get involved in these 3 college football games tonight? Or are you saving your coins for Saturday? What do you think? Any plays you're taking in these 3 pups? Indiana, SMU, Northwestern? Let me know. I'm kind of out as well. I don't want to lose any more coins on college football after a bad week 1. Kind of just want to wait. Yeah, Mooshik games tonight. Wait until Saturday. Most people are saying, "Oh yeah, I hate my money." Pega says.
Especially we got Eagles Packers tonight. It's not like we even got to bet on a game to fill the void with stuff going on.
You're right. SBR, he gets it. He gets it. No way Kobe's buying outlines.
Please.
That reminds me of
college football.
That's like when I was down at in Nashville for that Vandy Hokies game, and I saw a kid I went to college with who was absolutely shit-faced before the game at like 10 a.m. in the parking lot outside the stadium. He comes over, he goes, "What do you think about this play I fucking sent? I took the alt line for VT. I took their minus 9.5. They win by 10. And as soon as I heard that, I knew we were fucked. I was like, if you have to buy points for the Hokies to fucking cover an alt line minus 10, I was like, this bozo just fucked over the entire program with that bet. And what do you know? He did. Son of a bitch. If you have to buy points, guys, and you're not confident enough to take the bet, you should probably just stay off of it anyways, is my opinion on buying points and taking alt lines like that. But there's always a time and a place at some points, very rarely, right? I never say no to it, but very rare. Chiote thinks they're going to the playoffs still. I fucking bet. We will talk about that team later here in a moment. For now, let's move and let's groove, Jovan. I think it's about that time to dive into our first. We'll wait on the NFL. We'll do college football.
Yeah, give us college football first.
And get that up and moving. Gootsy, run that shit. All right, chat. You guys know the fucking drill by now. We've got 5 plays that we love on the books each for the college football weekend preview here. We got a fave, a dog, an over, an under, and a meat on tape POD, along with 2 prize pick squares each. So let's go ahead and dive the fuck in and get involved. And what better way to start than getting the snooze fest over with before chat falls asleep here, Jovan. 2 games we're seeing some unders in, and I'm leaning into the under in Florida A&M and Miami, Jovan. And this one, look, stick with me. It might take a little bit of a while to sell you on this, but I really do like the under in this game after Miami absolutely dominated in their first game of the season. I mean, people are saying Miami's back. People are locking in their Miami futures. I don't blame them, to be completely honest with you. I mean, they looked absolutely unbelievable. But what was weird to me when I was scrolling through the boards for this weekend, I thought it was kind of weird that this total was this low, to be honest with you, after Miami put up that absolute clinic in week 1, Jovan. And the total was moving down as well, 2 points from where it opened. I thought that was a great sign for this under, moving down from, actually, I'm seeing it down to 53.5 now. So it's moved like 4 points, Jovan, since I put this on there this morning. That's actually fucking crazy, and I'm pissed off because I haven't locked it in yet. God damn it. But the line in this game went up this morning because it involved Florida A&M or whatever, and they didn't have the lines up super early. They finally put them up this AM, and it opened up at, I saw 59.5. And then I got it at 57.5 for the, weekend preview. And now it's at 53.5 is what I'm seeing. That's fucking nuts. Anyways, I still like the under in this game. And I think that's ridiculous. Number one, Florida A&M has played 2 games already this season, Jovan. So their defense isn't good, but they've at least played a couple games that could give them a little bit of an advantage at times. They've got a couple more reps under their belt for this upcoming season. Number 2, I think they catch Miami lacking a little bit here. I don't think Miami's offense is going to put up a 50 burg here in this game. What do they have to get up for? They're ranked 12 right now. They're undefeated still. They have a shitty team coming into their home fields. And I think they could get caught, being fat, happy, and complacent at home here to a team that's in state looking to fucking beat them somehow. Not saying it's going to be close at all. I really don't think Florida A&M scores, Jovan, But I don't think Miami's going to score many points either. I think they come out flat. What do they have to fucking get up for or play for? And the early splits in this game look great. The totals dropping like fucking flies. This is absurd. I cannot believe it's this low already. I'm going to have to lock this one in probably now, to be completely honest with you. Give me the under.
Sure. I'm sure there's going to be a pretty healthy rotation of backups in this one, not just because Florida A&M this week, but they also have Ball State next week, and USF is much better than either of those teams, but they have 3 straight weeks of cupcake games.
Yep.
So can only assume don't need to play Cam Ward outside of building up his Heisman case for however long you need it.
Yep. I mean, dude, they beat Florida 41-17 at Florida. You think they're coming in this game as prepared as they were ahead in the fucking swamp? Give me a break, dude. No.
Yeah, I mean, truthfully,
Florida A&M coming into town, I wouldn't be either.
FAMU's defense might not be much worse than Florida's.
I mean, yeah, you really can't be, to be honest with you. Look, Miami scores less than fucking 43 points there, and this game's soaring under. Plain and simple. And I think that happens. I don't even know if FAMU is going to score.
Yeah, it could be like 52-0.
Yes. Okay. What do you like about the under in Texas, Michigan, besides it being a big game under early on in the season? I love it already.
Yeah, big game under. I guess I did the same thing last week with Notre Dame A&M in the first half. But first of all, I have to fade all Texas fans, because all Texas fans, and I know a shit ton of them, whenever they come into a game with irrational confidence, saying they're going to blow somebody out, they shit the bed, they lose, the offense doesn't show up. Last example, pretty easily. I mean, I guess you could say the Oklahoma game last year, but they lost that too. But the one that I remember very vividly the most is in the TCU game. When TCU went to the national championship, they came in, said their offense was going to walk all over TCU. Every single Texas fan you knew said they were going to put up 30 points, which is the same thing we're hearing now, saying they're going to win by 2 touchdowns, and it's free because Michigan looks so bad. They didn't score an offensive touchdown against TCU. Getting the same vibes here in this type of game. They're going to the big house. People forget. It's still a tough place to play no matter what that Michigan offense is doing. And that defense is, I mean, the best unit that Texas has seen in years, with Quinn Ewers, without Quinn Ewers, don't care, don't matter. That defense is going to shut them down, especially because Texas is not going to be able to establish the run. Because Quinn Ewers, when you're in obvious passing situations, that's when he's at his worst. That's when he has his worst games. And that's why his passing yards gotten bumped down like 50 yards since it opened. CLV stuck that new net with Trent, and he was damn near putting up the Elmo meme. But yeah, Quinn Ewers is going to struggle. It's Michigan offense, even though it kept it really vanilla like last week against Fresno State. They started to open up towards the end, and I think they're going to be a lot more physical than Texas, especially in the run game. So look of true close game that I think Michigan can win, but I can't see either of these teams getting at least far into the 20s. I think it's like a 2017 type game, one way or the other.
Love it. Absolutely love it. There's nothing more I love than to bet on these two teams to not be able to convert, right? They both are going to remind me of the Cowboys and their offense stalling out over and over again. Give me this under. It's that low for a reason. I fucking love it. Pressure will be high. Backs will be against the wall. I think it'll be like who loses this game, not even who wins it. It'll be uglier than people are expecting. Texas on the roads, look, they have an advantage. In Michigan, I really don't think it's going to be great this season, but I think both teams will be pretty nervous coming out of this game, and I wouldn't even mind a first half under either.
Yeah, don't disagree.
Sure. All right. I'm trying to read some chats here as well. Barkley got bumped up. Rumors were swirling his receiving yards to 17.5, Jovan. Love to see that.
Wow,
if only I got it in already.
Seen the under on the feed quite a few times this morning.
Okay, good.
We
got a 5-unit subby from fucking Flatwoods fella. Let's go, Flatwoods. Sure he can, Flatwoods.
Ace 4 is my guy. But I have seen every single Texas fan that I have talked to and asked, I have not seen anything less than 30 points in their prediction. Which is absurd. They are not scoring more than 20. Probably less than that.
That's got to be music to your
ears. Actually insane to me that there is this level of delusion that Texas fans actually think they're scoring 30 points against Michigan.
Probably not on the road, unfortunately. But we'll see.
They wouldn't at home either.
No, they wouldn't anywhere against Michigan. Come on. Give me a break. Michigan just lost everybody. Nobody believes in them either. Love backing a team in that angle too, but it won't be offensively. It'll be defensively, keeping them in that game. I do think they cover as well, Michigan. But I don't love it enough to bet. Okay, I'd rather tail your under, to be honest with you, in that game after hearing your sell job than Michigan, but I like both those plays. Okay. W's. Chad, how we doing? How we feeling? Does this get you guys bricked up going over these fucking great college football games for the weekends? Just going over FAMU under, get the juices flowing for you. Or how about a Michigan under? That one probably actually might. We're so back. We're so fucking back, dude. Let's keep moving and grooving here, Gootsy. What do you got up next for us? What category? A little Mikey Over action? Some points? 2 words, chat, points. All right, and I'm going with Jacksonville State and Louisville over 56.5. Who knows what this fucking total's at by now? I should probably check since these totals are moving around so much. But I'm absolutely loving the over in this game, Jovan, in points. Louisville's offense, they look great in the first game of the season. Jacksonville State did not look too elite, to be honest with you. They started out that game pretty terribly. And by the way, Louisville won 62-0. So although sure that worries me back in an angle or back in a team after a blowout like that, but I'm going to be leaning on their defense. It's pretty fucking good, or at least highly rated, to take a little bit of a step back against a scrappy Jacksonville State team. So let me give you the reason why. I've talked about this team a lot. We bet on this team and against this team a lot last year, Jovan, and they really cost me some coins when I faded them, and I've grown to respect them a little bit and what Rich Rod has going on down there in Jack State. And they've got 2 QBs they're rolling with right now this year, Jovan. I thought it was going to be Logan Smothers only. I talked about him a little bit a week or so ago. Dual threat QB for them, but makes some mistakes. He's pretty inconsistent. He could win them a game or lose them a game against anybody. They're rolling with 2 QBs right now, and it took them a while to get going against Coastal in that game, Jovan, to start the season. They were getting blown out early on in this game. It was 31-3 at one point, and then they started making some moves, Jovan. And then we saw Jackson State put in this other QB, Huff, who honestly got better as the game went on. I know he threw some picks early when he went in, but he got way more comfortable and almost racked up 200 yards in the second half of that game. I like the way their offense got going. They're going to use both QBs in week 2 as well coming up. Their coach already confirmed it, which I don't like for a team's win total over, but I do like for them to score some points because you're getting a QB comp mid-game and you're getting high energy from fucking both QBs trying to prove that they're the better guy to earn the starting job going forward. I love that. They're not going to take any drives off. They can't afford it. So I want to back Huff and Smothers to combine as a duo to do enough offensively against Louisville's defense that just held their opponent to 0 points. Love fading defense after giving up 0. And I think Louisville will carry the weight as well offensively, Jovan. I mean, their offense is so fucking electric and underrated, undervalued once again in the ACC. Talk about the ACC team that's a sleeper that nobody talked about this season. It's fucking Louisville. Didn't hear a peep about them. Let's not forget they can flip cars. They're O-line. They're out there being good Samaritans, helping people who are getting car accidents, flipping cars over as well, Jovan. So that helps too. Their O-line will lead from the front. Okay, give me points.
Devil's advocate, because I was actually considering this under for my Snooze Fest segment. Does it not worry you that Jacksonville State literally gave up 55 to a team that was missing all of their guys last week?
Dude, I think Jacksonville State's defense might just be that bad. They had a couple guys leave to the portal this offseason. Look, last year they were one of the luckiest teams in football. We remember it. Their D-line was actually pretty solid last year. They had some bodies, but their couple guys transferred. So I don't think their defense is going to be good, to be honest with you, Jovan. I think they're just going to be moose shit. And although it scares me that Louisville is coming off a 60-piece, that cancels out with them holding their opponents to 0 points. And I think Jacksonville State, after getting some momentum in the second half of that last game, will bring that into this weekend.
That's fair. I'm so down to fade the Jacksonville State luck train all this season.
And yeah, I see this game playing. Like, I don't think Jacksonville State's going to cover, Jovan, but I think it'll be a high-scoring game. Like, I do think, I mean, look, the spread is coming back to Jacksonville State, but I think Louisville still wins this game by 30. You're just going to see Jacksonville State still score, 17 points to help this game go over. Okay. Let me hear about this over in USC and Utah State. This gives me PTSD, Jovan, because I had the USC team total over in the first game.
I mean, the entire world was rooting for the over in that game.
Yep.
They're in Bookit. Shocker, the standalone game that was in Vegas on Sunday night. Most obvious over on the board did not go over. Yes, W Mike. But you know what this game gives me the vibes of, Krabs? This gives me New Mexico, Arizona vibes, where it is a little weirder of a spot for USC just because this is a sandwich spot in between, 2 bigger games. But they're coming off of the performance where I think everybody's buying in to a degree. And one of the reasons why I think their defense was so good is because by the second half, LSU got very predictable because they were essentially play calling to try and not lose the game because early in the game, they were passing with Nussmeier. He's letting it fly. I mean, he had guys open like Kyron Lacey, fantastic performance. By the time we got to the second half, they were running the ball. They seemed scared. So Utah State, not only are they coming in a pretty weird spot because I believe Petrus got hurt and I don't think he's expected to start. And it's going to be
No way.
Bryson Barnes, who not only played at Utah, but has played against USC and given them trouble at times. And he can use his legs, which adds a very dynamic aspect to the offense. Even
No
if he's
way
not.
they Bryson Barnes, dude.
Yeah. So he's expected to start or at the very least play, and they're going to play both.
That could be good for them. Fuck
Could be
Petrus.
great.
That guy
I think
stunk
there's
at Iowa, bro.
Yeah, I think there's a path to Utah State covering this game. So like that's why I'm getting the New Mexico vibes for this game, because I think their offense can show up in this game, and we're going to see a hell of a lot of points from this USC offense, just like everybody expects. And now is when we get the seemingly, I mean, not as obvious over that everybody was searching for in USC LSU. It's going to be this game late night where Utah State's offense shows up and makes it weird to start the game, and USC eventually pulls away.
I mean, look, I already like this over off the rip. That total is high as shit.
Yeah, I didn't mention that either.
Dude.
Like I know it's USC's offense against Utah State's defense, so maybe you get a little bit there. But this is a pretty similar total to what we saw in USC LSU, which feels odd.
Yeah. I mean, you take LSU out, you plug in Utah State. They're keeping the total around the same.
Yeah.
After the game went under. Okay. Love it. Absolutely love it, dudes. I'm looking at the splits right now. Wow, the splits on this over look great. 45% of bets, 72% of handle. Jovan, you might have just found a diamond in the rough, brother.
Just might have.
Get Petras the fuck out of there. Would love to know if anybody in chat knows anything more about Spencer Petras, if he's going to be playing at all in this game, or if they've heard anything about injury-wise, because I would love to know if Bryson Barnes, who is a great dual threat, I really liked him at Utah when he filled in for Cam Rising, this kid can use the fuck out of his legs. Are you not worried about USC's defense kind of standing on their heads in week 1 against LSU? You think they take a step back?
No, because I mean, they were good. Don't get me wrong, but I think they were good. They were as equally good as the play calling for LSU was bad. And now you add the unpredictability to some degree of like Bryson Barnes in that offense, who can use his legs. He's not Nussmeier. Right. I think that adds points off the rip. So, which again, like, I mean, it's a similar blueprint to what we saw with Dampier in New Mexico against Arizona, which Arizona, much worse defense than USC, but you get the point.
Yep. All right. I like the play, my man. Let's keep moving to groove in chat. 2 overs for you. Louisville, USC. Do not forget about them this weekend, okay? Let's keep moving along here, Gootsy. Where are you taking us now? Where are we dropping? How about a blowout? And how about the fucking Hokies on the boards? Jovan, I've come around to it. And I'm betting the Hokies. One of 2 teams to lose as a 10-plus point favorite last week. Obviously, Florida State losing as well. This Hokies team was a joke, and they've been hearing it plenty. Trust me. Okay, this team has been hearing it from the fucking people down there in Blacksburg. They've been hearing it from the boosters. They've been hearing it on the socials. They've been hearing it from random people, that just hate this team and hate their guts after losing outright to Vanderbilt. Well, I'm running it back. That spreads back up to 20.5, Jovan, and I'm laying it. They win this game by 3 touchdowns against Marshall at home. On the road down there in Vanderbilt, a lot of pressure for this team. The Hokies this season, Jovan, target on their back, I would say. I mean, a lot of fucking expectations for this team, and they let everybody down. I mean, they were an absolute fucking joke. They looked like shit, and they got dominated in the trenches. I'm not expecting that to happen at home in Lane Stadium against a Marshall team that I think absolutely sucks. And Marshall kind of looking like a fraudulently good team after a big-time win in their first game of the season. Looking a little sketchy. People are talking about Marshall. I'm seeing Marshall bets on my feed. A very trendy dog in this game. I will lay it with the Hokies to bounce back and cover this game and win by 3 touchdowns. I'll tell you right now, they are not going to take their foot off the gas pedal once they get a lead in this game. They cannot afford it, and they need to make a statement after that absolutely fucking embarrassing loss they had last week to Vanderbilt. Embarrassing.
Yeah. As much as I really hate to say it, I feel like this play is hitting. I love the Hokies offense this weekend. And I feel like this is the, I don't know, maybe sharp seeming big spread bounce back spot that we were all trying to get at with FSU. Virginia Tech feels like that team that's actually going to hit it this week. So I would love to take Marshall and fade, but I can't do it because I feel like that's a shit wager.
Yeah.
Do I need to play the clip?
No, you don't need to play it, Gootsy. They already know. They're already talking about it in chat. Yeah, Marshall coming off a blowout win last weekend, Jovan. They're coming off a massive win against Stony Brook, 45-3. I mean, is that even a real team? We could probably go sit up and play for fucking Stony Brook. Give me a break.
Yeah.
Love this spot. of buying low on the Hokies at home. Once they play under Sandman, that team will be right back at home, locked back in. No more fucking pressure, just anger, releasing it on the field against a moose shit Marshall team that's going to be overvalued in the spot after a big-time win against an atrocious FCS school in Stony Brook. Okay. Yep. Talked about Marshall on the college football group of 5 pod that we did and how I was down on them and like their win total under this season. That still stands true, even after a 45-3 win. Not high on the squad.
What time is this game at? Do you know, Krabs?
4:30.
Wow.
Afternoon game. Yeah, not early. 4:30.
Yeah, it could be locked.
Interesting.
I was going to say if it was a noon game, I might kind of be out, but
okay.
4:30.
Yeah, they got some time. They got some time. Okay. Chats, look, you can chirp. I understand it after Vanderbilt's actions last weekend and Diego Pavia literally owning us. I understand. But unless you have a Marshall ticket, I really don't want to hear shit. And you really don't have any credibility. So we'll go ahead and move on to Texas A&M here. Jovan, why are you laying them? Minus 49.5. Jesus.
This was always the
blowout.
Plan. Yeah, I mean, this was always the plan, Krabs. Just like I said last week, the reason why, like when I take futures on teams and they're in big games, coin flip games, you will hear me pounding the drum for them 9 out of 10 times. Last week was the one, because one of the reasons why I love Texas A&M this year throughout the rest of the season, the Colin Klein offense is going to be great. But figuring that out for Connor Wigman week 1 against the Notre Dame defense, specifically the best DB in football, plays for Notre Dame. They have a fantastic secondary. There's not a wide receiver open all night. And the one weakness I would say of the Texas A&M offense, or the biggest weakness, is the offensive line. Notre Dame's D-line dominated them all night. This is where you figure it out, because the Colin Klein offense is predicated on motion. It's predicated on getting your playmakers out in space. When nobody's open or able to get open, you can't do shit. When you're playing fucking McNeese, this is the perfect time to work on it before you go and play Florida in the Swamp, which not really a challenge at all from a defensive standpoint, but it's a tough place to play, so they got to get ready for that. This is the time where, after last week, they're going to try everything in the offense. Obviously, they're going to be more physical. They're going to dominate the DBs. All the wide receivers are going to be naked across the field, so he'll have plenty of time to throw and plenty of time to work on the concepts. They're not taking the foot off the gas, not just after the way last week went, but the fact they got to get ready for these games, like going in the Swamp and being ready, especially because communication's tough, and you're going to need a lot of that in that offense. So they're beating the absolute piss out of McNeese. I would be shocked if they don't score 60 points in this game. And I don't think McNeese is scoring more than once.
I can't believe you're fading your boys at McNeese.
They're my boys on the court, not on the gridiron.
On the hardwood. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm with you. They're moose. Talk about another bounce back spot after an embarrassing week 1 win. Sign me up. Let's lay it with them. And like Chite's saying in chat, starters will be in, foot will be on the fucking gas pedal the entire game after that embarrassing out. Need it.
Exactly.
Right? W play, laying 50. Jesus. 50. Totals at fucking 55.5, Jovan, in this game, and the spread's at 49.5.
I know. I wanted to just get like a team total. It's just not on the board anywhere.
McNeese team total 6.5. That is absurd.
That is where
absurd.
You see that?
Well, I'm just crunching numbers because if the spread's at 49.5 and the total's at 55.5, it's got to be 6.5, right?
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, you're right.
And people are asking why they can't see this play on the Green Book. I think Green Book is a little bit slow.
Green Book doesn't have shit, dude.
Slow with
missing
FCS
quite a few games.
Anything involving FCS, they don't have up yet. Only a couple books do. It's pretty soft. They'll be up today. I promise. All right. And people asking about Kyron Jones playing earlier. Is he hurt? He's good. He's healthy as an ox. He'll be fine. He's got a leg sleeve on, but he's fine. Not hearing anything in practice. He'll be good to go. Okay.
Drone's leg sleeve could be Mikey Over system play.
Could be the difference, right? That's what we're waiting for. Yep. That definitely helps. Can't hurt. All right, let's keep moving. Let's keep grooving here, Goatsy. W blowout segment. Let's move on to some upsets. Let's talk about some dogs we think are going to be barking this weekend, Jovan. And I'll start with an ACC play. Let me get Syracuse +3. We might need the points here, although I do think they win outright. I'm really liking Syracuse in this spot here, Jovan, mainly because of who we're fading. In Georgia Tech, a ranked team, 2-0, who is extremely overvalued and overrated, in my opinion, although they are good. They look sharp. They've played great so far. They've dominated both teams. They played Florida State to beat a ranked squad. They're frauds, though, too. And then they dominated Georgia State, who was a tricky team, in-state rival. They took care of business with ease, right? Syracuse, on the other hand, you look at what they did in their first game. I mean, they put up a 38-piece against Ohio. Their offense looked really sharp, in my opinion. guys, Syracuse is one of those teams I've talked about that is going to thrive with NIL money. They've already brought in guys like Kyle McCords and a couple other pieces on defense to that Syracuse team in the portal this offseason. It has improved them greatly, and they are a sleeper pick in the ACC. Do not get me wrong. Another team like Louisville, not as good as Louisville, but a team that's really just not getting talked about enough. Syracuse is solid, and at home, I'll take them getting 3 points against Georgia Tech, a now ranked squad who's had a cakewalk, in my opinion, through 2 games, and they've looked absolutely dominant, but I'm calling their bluff, and I want to take the points here with Syracuse in a game with a very, very tight spread. You're telling me Syracuse and Georgia Tech, a ranked team on a neutral site right now, would be a pick 'em? I don't know. Or I guess they'd be laying 6 on a neutral site, which still does not really feel right to me. I don't know. I just feel like the spread is tight, man. I'll take the 3 points at home with the Syracuse team nobody likes, nobody's talking about. They've got that Kyle McCord interception square up there on the boards. I feel like Georgia Tech is susceptible to the rush game, and we know Syracuse has a stud running back as well, who they should be feeding early and often in this game against the Yellow Jackets. Give me Syracuse, give me the points, but I do think they win this game outright.
Gladly. I think we've learned from the last 2 weeks that as much of a sleeper and as talented as Georgia Tech seems, it was a lot more FSU bad than Georgia Tech and Boston College, for that matter, good.
Sure. Do not sleep on Syracuse this year, Chad. I'm telling you. They've got a relatively easier schedule. I think they can pull off an upset in this game and stay undefeated. We'll see. Sure. All right, cut the shit. Let's go to the Buffs. You got them plus 7.5. I'm not happy about it, although I do like the play. Let's hear the sell job. What do you got?
I've been talking about it since we even talked about the under 1 total. I included this as a win. So I think this is a game they can win outright. And this is the rare time, probably the only time all year, that there's going to be a hype train that rivals Colorado in any one of their games. And the hype train is Dylan Raiola, who everybody's excited about beating, I don't know, one of the worst teams in FBS and UTEP. Big whoop. But yeah, nobody's talked about, like, everybody seems to be the fact that he's just going to dice his Colorado defense. And I'm not going to sit up here and say I disagree. The Colorado defense is absolutely horrendous. And while I don't believe in that offense nearly as much as I think a lot of people do, I do think they're going to get their fair share of points. But on the other side, I don't think anybody's mentioned Nebraska's defense. You just think Big Ten defense, that they're automatically better. Their defensive line is not good, and their secondary is not great either. So, like, I don't know how they're going to be able to stop Colorado's offense, as much as I cannot stand the slurp of that team. So, yes, that game last year was relatively close, and honestly, without Jeff Sims, Nebraska would have had a pretty good shot to win that game. The defense has gotten worse. The defense has lost players. That secondary is going to be Swiss cheese all night. So, like, I think at the very least, this is a game that lands within a touchdown, and Colorado is going to be able to go band for band. And there's a reason why Dylan Raiola, of all people, probably the most popular quarterback this weekend and what seems like one of the softest matchups of the big games, passing yards is awfully low, I would say. It looks like probably the freest play of the weekend between college and NFL. So have a look at that. I've been seeing ladders all over the feed since Tuesday, and that line opens super short and has not gotten much higher. So, yeah, looks like a big trap on the board. I will take the Buffs. I think their offense is going to go band for band, and they're going to put up as much points or as many points as they want against this Nebraska defense. I think this is going to not just going to be so one-sided like everybody's saying it is. Give me Shadur and the boys. And there's a reason, too. Every time this line has gotten up to 7.5, it's very quickly gotten bought down to 7. That is pretty key, seeing movement back and forth like that, because that tells you one thing: the sharps are loving that hook. So I'll ride with them.
They keep buying back in for more every time they
keep
get a little
buying back
action
in for more. It's gotten up and it comes quickly back down. It's been doing that for a couple days now.
Interesting.
Nebraska front 7 is not good, brother. I hate to say that.
I like the play. I do. I hate Colorado. I hate their guts, but I like the play, and I would not be surprised if they win this game outright. Jovan, I'm assuming you think the same, and you wouldn't mind taking them at plus 6.5 either, if it gets to it?
No, I will have the ML locked in as well. I haven't done that yet, but I have the 7.5 punched in.
Sure. Chipper gets it. Holy shit, Chad is making one in New Colorado.
The chat is a representation of what the whole feed seems like about this game.
Sure.
So, I mean, I will be. This is, again, the rare time I feel like there's a hype train that is not on the Buffs. So I will be talking about them.
All right.
And they're actually like really bad numbers. I was listening to a podcast talking about it of Nebraska against UTEP. Like, they got no pressure on the quarterback, which was very odd to see that against UTEP. The dude was dealing with a clean pocket most of the game. Secondary got torched too. The quarterback just couldn't make throws. So you're going to see that come to light against the Buffs, because the one thing we can never take away from them, That offense is going to be dynamic. That wide receiver room is going to do what that wide receiver room does between Jimmy Horn, between Travis Hunter. And if you give Shadur a little bit of time to operate, have fun.
Sure. He'll be hitting that fucking watch Selly all goddamn game. I can already see it.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right. W plays here on the upset alert graphic. Chat, take notes on these two plays. They're both smacking. Okay. You know, we love our fucking underdogs. We're cashing both these puppies. I can already see it. Okay. Let's move, Jovan. Let's groove. Let's talk about some meat on tape plays. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I drank too much coffee. We'll get us started off with this over, and then I'll fill in with Iowa State. Tell me about it.
Got to go to this over. Everybody knows how high I am on Cincy this year. This is a coin flip game that I don't want to die on the hill of them winning, but these are two secondaries that are absolutely awful. People want to be delusional and call Nebraska's defense the steel curtain, sure, but these two defenses, non-negotiable, really, really bad. Usually not the case with a Pat Narduzzi team, but that secondary is bad. Both these teams last week, you look at what they did. They gave up a lot of yardage and a lot of points to Kent State and Towson, which that was my one concern with Cincinnati. The defense wasn't going to be great. That secondary was really, really bad last week. So you're going to see that. Eli Holstein, super exciting freshman quarterback or transfer quarterback, that they're bringing in. He was slinging the ball. He's going to be throwing the ball a shit ton against the secondary. And same goes for Brendan Sorsby because that offensive line is great. Corey Kiner is great, but he's going to be airing it out really all season, but especially after what we saw in the first week. They took the foot off the gas pedal pretty early because they didn't want to show too much in the pass game. They're going to be unleashing it all this week. So there's a reason why this total was at 59, kind of steamed up this way, but this is a total last year when they played was at 44.5, and I believe it barely went over. I think it was 27-24 or something around there. There's a reason why this is 20 points higher than what it was last year. It's because both the offenses are significantly improved, and the defenses might have gotten worse, but they sure as hell didn't get any better. So give me plenty of points.
Love the sell job. Heard the whole thing. That's surgical. These defenses fucking suck. Rad's got to do a pulse check on Pitt, man. They stink. They stink.
Offense, I think it's going to be good this year, though.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like them and Cincy are relatively similar teams, except Cincy has the much better offensive line, the much better stable of or crutch of a run game. Just defensively, pretty bad on both sides.
I can buy into Sorsby, too. I like him under center. He's good. Okay. Good. All right. I'm going to dip from practice, but Krabs, when you take college players, must include Jack Velling. Yeah, we're going to talk about him in a little bit, my man. What was my reason on Iowa State? I would love to tell you. Jovan, you like Iowa State, the Cyclones this weekend?
I'll be on them with you. Absolutely.
I think they win this game outright. You will not find a bigger Rocco-backed fan than me right here, to be honest with you. I'm buying stock into this kid right now. I think he's one of the more underrated arms in college football. I loved what he did under center as a freshman. I was very impressed. I like what they did in week 1 as well. And I think they win this game on the road. You're telling me on a neutral site, this game is a pick'em. Iowa ranked. Iowa's defense, being absolutely elite every fucking season, year in, year out. And they just held their first week opponent to 0 points. Nothing's changed for Iowa, except for the fact they just scored a 40-piece, Jovan, in that game as well. I don't think anybody expected a 40-piece from Iowa in any game against any opponent, probably for the rest of time, to be honest with you. And I think that's a great sign, seeing only +3 for Iowa State here after Iowa could not have had a better week 1 game. I was expecting after that elite week 1 game, you'd see more respect for Iowa on the ML or on the spreads. And we're not getting it, man. You're telling me this is a fucking pick'em on a neutral site? Iowa's only -3 here at home. I don't get it. Maybe it's the Cyclones' year, Jovan. We know this program has gone through turmoil in years past. They got some sports betting weird shit going on. They seem to be pretty dialed in towards the end of the season last year, though, and in their first game of the season when their defense absolutely dialed in as well and held a North Dakota team that is FCS, but to only 3 points as well. So the Cyclones' defense looked good enough to me. I'm not worried about Iowa's offense against an actual real fucking defense in Iowa State. I know they're going to fucking stand on their heads and absolutely stunt the Hawkeyes, and their offense is not going to look nearly as good as they did against that fraudulent FCS team. And I want to trust Rocco Becht to get the fucking win, or at least cover and keep it within a field goal on the road in Iowa against a ranked squad. Buy your stock in the Cyclones now before it's too late, chat. I've got them winning this fucking conference this year. Okay? I'm bought in fully. I love Iowa State to win this fucking conference, the Big Ten. I think they fucking win it this year and surprise everybody.
Yeah, I could kind of get down with that.
Yep.
Can add the nugget for you that and last year when this game happened and Iowa State honestly should have won the game. That was when they were missing their entire team for gambling reasons, and they all had like I don't know if it was COVID, but some random sickness also swept through the entire team. So like through that period where they almost won that game, they lost to I forget who it was, another shitty team, but right before that they lost to a shitty team. So like that was when that all happened. So maybe a little revenge narrative for there if they didn't need any sort of extra inspiration in this game, which they probably don't.
Sure. Chat, sorry, I'm not fucking perfect. Big 12, they will win. Iowa's in the Big 10. Apologies. Okay. Keep me honest over there, will you? All right. Keep me honest. They will win the Big 12. Okay. Sorry. Do not fucking smite me for that comment. Fucking relax.
Figure those.
Jesus Christ. Just looking for shit to bitch about instead of being happy we're giving them winners for free and not charging them on Double Club like every single other person in this industry. It's ridiculous. We got a sub bank coming in from Real Exclusiveness. Jovan, bouncing off your Eagles Super Bowl comment yesterday. How do you feel about the Philly lay today? Eagles and Phillies for Omega Max. Thoughts?
I mean, I think you're a little more confident in the Eagles tonight than I am. I still like the Eagles, but I think it's not safest. But I think the best play for me is points. The Phillies and Zach Wheeler. I can't take Zach Wheeler against the Marlins, dude. For whatever reason, a lot of those Marlins bats just get to those Phillies pitchers, and coming off of one where I guess that was the first time in a while that one of them have pitched really well against them yesterday. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared of that.
Okay. Yeah, maybe it's not the day for the Philly lay. Okay, maybe we just take the Eagles on the ML and go about our day. We got 5 subbies coming in from SBR as well, Jovan. How about a 5U sub whale from the kid himself? WSBR. Let's fucking go, dude. All right, let's keep moving and grooving here. We got to power through the prize pick squares for college football so we can get to NFL here, chat. We still have like an hour. All right, let's keep moving and grooving, though. We got to keep spoon feeding you guys some winners. All right. Prize pick squares. Here we go. Sure. W's. I got Kyle McCord less than half a pick. Okay. I like Syracuse, like I already talked about, going over the college football weekend preview. And I think they're going to hand the ball off a million times. As long as McCord can do that, they're going to cover and potentially win this game. I don't really think they're going to try to use or win this game through the air. Excuse me. I think they're going to try to use their legs and their elite running back. And I don't think McCord is really going to put the ball in danger really that much in this contest. I'm loving Syracuse, and I'm loving McCord less than half a pick. He's got a greened out chart as well. Plenty of picks of late. I believe he had a pick last week as well. I'm buying stock in McCord and Syracuse, and I'm taking him to not throw a pick this weekend.
Sure. I'm in.
I got Jack Velling going against Maryland in a game where I'm expecting plenty of points. This kid was not utilized enough in week 1. He only had 1 catch, I believe, but he's going to be a main factor of this offense. I like this kid. He's underrated, and he's going to pop off against the Terps, who have a solid D-line. Secondary does not scare me much. I think this is a mismatch nightmare for the Terps secondary here, and I think their tight end for the Spartans is going to absolutely thrive with a very high number here, almost twice the amount of receiving yards he had in week 1. I think it's for good reason. I'm loving points. I like their offense here in the spot. I think it's a letdown spot for the Terps after a big-time week 1 win, and I think we see Jack Velling, the best, most underrated player on that offense there in Michigan State, thrive against the Terps on Saturday.
Sure. I'm in for that,
okay.
Outside of the fact that Aiden Childs is wretched.
Yeah, he is. But I think there'll be some points in that game.
Yeah.
Tell me about Sorsby. Tell me about Neal. What do you like about these two gents?
Yeah, Sorsby, partially just like a game kind of read because I love the over in that game. Sorsby, nobody knows about him. They should know pretty soon, even though Cincy, I think they're going to be a bowl team. It's not like they're going to go to the playoff, but he's damn good, and he brings an element to this offense that they've been missing. They certainly were last year with Emory Jones. He takes care of the ball pretty well, but he also can give them the threat of downfield passing. We saw early, like in the Towson game. Yes, it was Towson, but there was such a scheme change for Cincy that they weren't used to. He was throwing the ball deep really the entirety of the first half. They took the foot off the pedal because I assume they didn't want to show anything for Pitt coming up this week. They really only ran the ball, but he is such a dynamic add to this offense. And I think in this game against Pitt, where we see a ridiculously high total compared to how these games have gone the past couple of years, he's going to be airing the ball out all games. So, like, I think he can go over this with his passing yards alone. I think he threw for like, what was it, 380 last year, or 280 like last week or something close to that. But I think he's throwing for 300 alone. I left the rush in here because he's a big-time design run guy, and they did that a couple times against Towson. Again, they weren't going to show the full hand in that game, but I can guarantee you that's going to be a crucial part of the game plan in this game against Pitt. So like they put up his rushing yards after he did really nothing in that game. I think he had like 5 yards rushing. It's up like as a square of its own. So I think he's going to do everything in this game. So I'll be taking him to have an absolutely massive game.
Sure.
And Devin Neal receiving yards, one of those funny squares too. I feel like I have one of those pretty much every day of the week. But this one more so makes a lot more football sense than all of the rest of them, because I remember, and I looked back from watching that Kansas-Illinois game from last year, they had a very, I don't want to say like one-dimensional, but they're very stout in their game planning. And their plan was to get their playmakers the ball in the flat every single time they could. A lot of the time that was Devin Neal. Some of the times it was Jalen Daniels. Some of the times it was Quentin Skinner. Some of the times it was even Lawrence. Like these guys, that was their plan for the entirety of the game, which is why I think Devin Neal had like 4 catches for 46 yards in that game. He didn't do anything last week because, again, they didn't need to show their hand in that. But the reason they did that is because Illinois, their DB room cannot compare or cannot really compete with the speed of Kansas wide receiver room. So they're playing super deep coverage, and they honestly kept them over a shell for most of the game. They're going to do that again this year. So like I think this is going to be a game where they're going to make Jalen Daniels take everything short, and you're probably going to see Devin Neal, just like I think Scotabo did last week. Like first drive, he caught one for 13 yards, and his line was 12.5. Devin Neal's going to get this early. So I love that square.
Weird, cheeky Jovan special square is what that one is right there. Devin Neal. All right, I've already seen him catch a fucking screen pass in the first drive. Better just hope it's 6 yards. Okay. Love the Prize Pick squares there, Jovan. Great fucking work. I think it might be time to wrap up the college football and get to some NFL talk for the weekend. What do we think?
Yep.
You ready?
Yep.
Chat, you guys want to move? You guys want to groove? All right, let's move. Jovan, Gucci, run that shit. Let's get to NFL. All right, chat, just like we went over a college football weekend preview, talking about a favorite, a dog, an over, and under, a meat on tape, and a couple prize pick squares from each of us, we're going to do the same fucking thing for the NFL. Okay, so lock in, get those notepads out, get those pens clicked, and take notes. Get involved, all right? Learn something, all right? Jovan will be back here in a second. He had to go pick up some mics for this weekend. People forget we are going to Tampa on Sunday. We're going down there for Boots on Ground, BTL, Battle of Burke. And I'm fucking stoked. I cannot wait to see the Commanders hand the Bucks and Jovan squad an L. Okay, and I'll say that now before he comes back. For now, I'll go ahead and sell you on my snooze fest. I'll get the ball rolling on that. My favorite under in the NFL this weekend, guys, and it's this under in Dallas and Cleveland. Look, I've already seen it. The Dallas offense really not thriving in week 1. I mean, Mike McCarthy's their coach. How well prepared can they be? And I think Dallas, like I just talked about on the podcast we recorded last night, and is going to be released here shortly, the NFC NFL pods. I think Dallas will be better on at the end of the season. They're going to get hot. I don't think they're going to win the division. And I think they will make the playoffs as a wild card team and kind of pick up steam towards the end of the year. And I trust Dak this season, but just not week 1. Not against this stout Browns defense that people are forgetting about how fucking good they are at home, especially. Myles Garrett is going to have an absolute field day against this Cowboys O-line that's not getting any better. All right, this total's this low for a reason. Even with these two, high-powered electric offenses that have Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson, whatever. And then the Browns obviously have Deshaun Watson, who's healthy again, Amari Cooper and co. This total is very low, and for good reason. Okay, you're seeing the splits on the under looking very, very sharp. Some big bets being dropped on this under. And I think this game will be boring, low scoring. It'll probably be the Brandon Aubrey field goal fest for the Cowboys. Their drive stalling out like it's their fucking job. And the Browns, although I do think they win this game, their offense will find some success at times against the Cowboys defense without Dan Quinn now. I do think the Dallas defense will stand all business and hold, Cleveland to less than 25 points here. And that'll be the winning team. So I'm expecting a low scoring, gross under in this game. It's going to be the grossest game of the weekend, in my opinion. And that's why I'm locking in the under between the Cowboys and the Browns at 41. What are you guys' thoughts on this under? I did just see Deshaun Watson's father passed away, RIP. That's fucking brutal. You hate to see that. I'm seeing Ramble guys going to Bucks Broncos week 4. That's fire. Love to see that. Looks like we got the NFC preview live right now as well. W. Gootsy fucking grinding in the back end there while we're live on the show, getting the NFC preview live on the YouTubes. Let's fucking
all up.
Goots.
All up.
Let's go, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Chat, check out the NFC preview. We did an AFC preview. You guys liked it. So you can always go back and rewatch that one as well. You can watch it on YouTube. If you do, drop a like. You can listen on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever you get your podcasts, if you're on the go. If you need to be mobile, okay? No stress, no rush. Check out those pods before the weekend, okay? Before Sunday, all right? W's. Does Prize Picks offer college squares in certain states? Yes, they do, Haven. Yes, they fucking do. And I'm blessed to be in one of those states, okay? Goots needs a raise. You're goddamn right. Goots is a fucking grinder, okay? He's been working his butt off back there during the show, getting pods up left and right like a fucking octopus. He's got like 8 arms and hands, typing away, grinding. All right, we're waiting for Jovan to get back here. I'm looking at his play, the under in the Chargers and the Raiders. I do like that play. I think that could be an absolute stinky poop bowl, to be honest with you, with both of those offenses really struggling. Harbaugh getting some nerves out in week 1. They're still trying to work out the kinks with that offense. It'll take them a while to get going, in my opinion. And really, with Greg Roman being their OC, I'm really not expecting an electric offense, to be honest with you. I'm expecting Ravens 2.0 when their offense was even worse. And then, obviously, the Raiders offense, I mean, I could sell you on why to fade them, but I feel like I really don't have to be completely honest with you. Jovan, talking about your under in the Chargers game. I like it.
Yeah. Long story short, I don't know if I'm like buying in necessarily on the Chargers' new offense, but I'm buying into the style they're playing at the very least. Like, they're going to be establishing the ground game a shit ton more, even though they have Justin Herbert. I think the run game is going to be relatively effective against the Raiders too. And on the other side, like, I think the Raiders are going to keep this close. This feels like, I don't know, to me, maybe there's not a parallel for it, but like two teams that are going to be establishing physicality or trying to establish physicality early in the season, which kind of leads to a slugfest for me in this game.
I could so see it, dude. I could so see it. And just fading Harbaugh in his first game back in the NFL as well is music to my fucking ears. I love that at home as well. A lot of pressure. Yeah. Sure. Give me the under. Let's fade both these offenses. They're most shit. Low total for a reason. Are these the 2 lowest totals of the weekend? I guess Cincy, New England's at 41 as well. Carolina, New Orleans is 41.5.
Which is crazy.
New York is 41.5. Sure. We will. Let's keep moving and grooving here. Enough of the snooze fest. We don't want chat to fall asleep. Let's move and groove and talk about some overs for the people. 2 games we're expecting some points. I really thought you were going to put the Commanders over in here, but maybe we'll talk about that here later. I've got the over in the Texans and Colts game. This is kind of square, but I don't care. And the splits don't look square at all. The splits look pretty fucking sharp for this game, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'll pull them up right now, and I'll show you guys. As of right now, it's looking like the over is getting 50% of bets and over 70% of the handle. Some big old bets being dropped on this over, including mine. I think this will be a back and forth offensive slugfest here. And I don't think the defenses are going to step up one bit. I think Anthony Richardson has looked like shit in the preseason, but he's going to prove all his doubters wrong and probably lead this team to a victory or at least cover. I do lean the Colts here, but I think that could be the fake sharp POD. I'm worried about the Texans as a favorite on the road here. And people are starting to pick up the steam and fading that team and hating on them a little bit. I'm hearing a little bit too much hate for the Texans heading into this week. Worry me a little bit. So I'm not going to take anything on the sides here, Jovan. Instead, I'm just going to go with a good old-fashioned shootout between 2 young QBs and 2 defenses I really don't believe in at all, to be completely frank with you. This total's moving up and this high for a reason, and I think this is going to be a back-and-forth great fucking game, probably the best one of the weekend, to be honest with you. I think Richardson shines, and I think Stroud throws a pick. We're going to talk about that in a moment, but he does enough to keep the Texans on the board offensively and keep this game close.
Sure. I'm in on that.
W's. You like points in the Panthers and Saints game? Hopefully mainly from the Panthers.
Yeah, hoping so. But I think the Saints will have their fair share too. The thing is, I think this total being at 41.5 is, I mean, nobody's really going to talk about it because I feel like everything is, all the talks about Panthers aside at this point, but total's high. Both of those teams or both of those games last year were 39.5. And if the Panthers offense was not going to take this step like we thought, or if the Saints were going to be as dead as we all think they are, I feel like the total would be in the same place, especially in the Superdome. because both of those games last year, I think it was like they went under by a couple points too. So it's
both
not
went
like they
under.
were like they're pushing P. Like this total being at 41.5 feels very indicative, and also the fact that it opened 40.5 and got bet up. So I think minimum. I don't know if the Panthers cover this game. I'm going to be taking that too, just because that's one of the ones I stood on from the beginning of the season. I guess you'll talk about that too. But at the very least, this offense is going to be much, much improved coming into the season. I think you're going to get Bryce Young on the move, and not that there are really much of any last year, but you're going to see some explosive plays from the Panthers. And I don't think they're the only ones. I think the Panthers are going to give up a couple themselves, as much as I do love that defense. So this total, I don't know. I've had a couple of those in the NFC South. I guess Bucks Falcons last year comes to mind. That was like one of my bigger bets of the NFL season last year. Where the line kind of sticks out, the matchup sticks out right out of the gate. We know games in the Superdome get weird. I feel like this one gets weird with points.
I love it, dude. And I love that angle of bringing up the totals in the games from last year, which, by the way, the Saints swept, and both games did go under, and both totals were at 39 and 39.5. Now we're seeing, after both those games went under, we're seeing what I thought was a little bit of a tighter spread than I was expecting, with Carolina getting some respect after being terrible, and this total being a little bit higher after 2 unders cash last year. Give me points in this game. Sign me up. And the splits on this over are beautiful, Jovan. 35% of bets, 55% of handle on the over.
That's rare.
Love
for
that.
Panthers game.
Love that. Okay. 2 great looking plays here, chat. 2 overs for you for this weekend to get the juices flowing. I know the sleeper or the snooze fests might not do it for you. Get the juices flowing, but the Mikey Overs certainly will. Okay. These are 2 exciting games. I'm excited for both these pups. All right. Let's keep moving here. We got a couple more plays to go over for the NFL this weekend, a couple more winners. I'm so fucking excited for Sunday. It's going to be epic. Let's move on. What else we got, Gootsy? How about some blowouts? Sure. Already talked about the Eagles a little bit, so I'm not going to sell it again. Already went over for the Sharp Report, but I do think Jalen Hurts, as much and as big of a hater as I was last year on the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, I think they get a big-time win. I just love the spot with them ending the season poorly last year, and with their opponents tonight, the Packers finishing so strongly. Eagles getting some respect here in a neutral site as favorites, and I love Kellen Moore coming in, giving the Eagles to finish the job and get a big-time win.
Sure. I'm kind of rooting for him.
Sure. Seahawks,
Yeah, I went the Seahawks, and I'm not going to act like I'm on an island with this one, because even though everybody's slurping Bo Nix, I don't feel like many people think the Broncos have a shot in this one. I think it'll be like relatively close for some of the game. The thing that I keep circling back to is I think the Seahawks defense is going to be really good. And after watching the Ravens last night and how different that defense looked in a very negative way, I really want to buy into Mike Macdonald and what that defense is going to do, especially with the crutch of one of the best 1-2 DB punches in the league back there with Woolen and Witherspoon. So I feel like even though I'm not necessarily selling the Bo Nix hype just yet, because like I think he can be fine in that offense, just week 1 in Seattle against that defense and that scheme, I find it tough to believe that they're going to hang in this one for, I don't know, the entirety of this game at the very least. So I like the Seahawks, even if, the Geno Smith offense is not fantastic from the start. I feel like Kenneth Walker does his thing, and Bo Nix probably struggles for a little bit. I think he can get back on track maybe towards like the next couple games of the season. But again, week 1 in Seattle against that defense, that scheme, that DB room, I think he's going to have some problems early.
Sure. I can agree. Maybe this is the one game Geno looks okay and the Seahawks do well. That's a lot of respect for them. In the first game of the season, laying 6 against a hyped-up Bo Nix, who, sure, he's getting some hate as well, and not a lot of people believe in him, but he is a cool new QB under center, and Sean Payton did put meat on tape for him, and he's pretty much putting his job on the line for him as well. So you got some cojones laying the 6 here with Seattle, a team that I don't believe in this year, but I do think that's a big number in week 1 for a reason with Seattle.
Yeah.
Gun to my head in GTA. I lean that way on the spread too. Okay.
Yep.
W's. We have any upsets? We got an upset alert on the loose. Sure. How about 2 of these dogs? They'll be barking. I like both these plays a lot. We'll start out with the Jags here, which I'm sure you can fill in as well here, Jovan. I'll take the +3.5, +3, whatever it's at, against Miami and that overrated squad down there who has plenty of depth, but the Jags are a team, Jovan, we've talked about plenty heading into this season. How is this Miami defense going to slow down Trevor Lawrence and this Jags team that we're so fucking high on? I don't know. I really don't know how they're going to slow him down. And I love that not a lot of people besides smart people are talking about the fucking Jags. And I'm a Peterson guy. I'm a Trevor Lawrence guy. He's got a couple new pieces as well, like Brian Thomas, who you've talked about, Jovan, who you're very high on, who should fucking feast in this matchup against Miami. And I think that spread is just simply too short as well, with Miami being home, only laying -3, -3.5 after the season they've had, the couple of years they've had, and after the Jags have been pretty moose shit of late. Disappointing season after disappointing season. I think it's the Jags' year, right? And I think they're a very live dog. I think they win this game outright on the road, to be honest with you, but I'll take the field goal just in case.
Yeah, truth be told, I mean, I probably like the Jags a little more than the Titans, but you already had that up there, so I will let you have that, and I will be certainly getting involved in that with you, especially if Ramsey is out, because that would be big. I mean, that wide receiver room is already loaded, and I already think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a fucking day. If you give me that wide receiver room against the DB room with no Ramsey, Trevor Lawrence licking chops.
Yeah. Crazy they just paid him a ton of money, and we don't even know if he's going to play week 1. He's banged up again. Weird.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to be fine. But,
Okay.
yeah, week 1, I feel like there's – not that the Jags are not an important game, because they are, but I feel like it's, especially with a hammy injury, worth taking the, I don't know, the longer-term approach, especially
I feel like
next week is Thursday night against the Bills now.
That's going to be one hell of a game.
Yeah,
Jesus.
Maybe short week is playing into that a little bit too.
Sure, and I'm pretty positive that the Dolphins probably aren't losing any sleep over the Jaguars coming into town, right? It's the Jags.
Should be.
Who's worried about them? They should be, but they're probably not. It's the Jags, right? Let's buy low on this team now. I think they're going to impress some people this season.
Yep.
Let's hear about the Titans. What do you like about them at +3.5?
Yeah, it's a mandatory play. Looking at these lines, because nobody wants to fade Caleb Williams, or at least didn't want to fade Caleb Williams until everybody started betting off of a trend that I don't know why, but yeah, this game screams really weird to me. Nobody really has much hope for the Titans just in general for this season, except maybe us two. That offense is going to be damn good, and I think it's going to force a lot of these games that are don't seem like very winnable games on paper for the Titans. They're going to win games they shouldn't. They're going to lose games they shouldn't. They're going to play close with teams they shouldn't, and this feels like one of those matchups. The Bears defense is tough. The Bears defense is great, but 100%. This Titans offense is going to make things weird because of the amount they're going to pass the ball. It's an air raid team, so you're going to take the high highs and take the low lows. So on the road, I mean, I couldn't tell you why God's name they opened 4.5 and now they're down to 3.5. I really could not tell you that against one of the most hyped teams in offseason history, but I'll pay to find out because I think Levis is going to have a great game. I think there's going to be some fluke on the Caleb Williams side of things too. I think we talked about that, and I don't remember if we talked about it in AFC or NFC pod, but I feel like there's some defensive touchdown coming for the Titans in this one, something super fluke, which always happens in one of these games like this. So it's more of a gut feeling than anything. I want to see that offense go to war with a really good defense, and looking at the line, it's telling me they just will.
Okay. I could get down with it. I like that spread +3.5, although I've gone back and forth with the Bears. At first, I thought it was a little bit of respect for the rookie QB in his first game, but then I remembered the other pieces that the Bears have added as well, and they are getting hyped up, as they should be. I think this is a dangerous team this season. I wouldn't be surprised if they win that division, but that doesn't mean necessarily that Caleb Williams is going to win in his first ever career game, right? It might take him a little bit to start cooking towards the end of the season against the Tennessee Titans that nobody believes in, nobody wants to bet on, nobody wants to back, but a team that spent more money than any other team in the NFL this offseason, the Tennessee Titans, who are a little bit over the luxury tax too. They added plenty of pieces, a lot of blue-collar guys who are not like big-name dudes, but they added to that roster. Tony Pollard. I think they added, Tyler Boyd, or they added a receiver from the Bengals. They got Snead coming over from the Chiefs in a trade. Nobody's talking about that at all. Their O-line is going to be improved.
The defensive adds quite enough. Like Snead, they have a couple pieces back there. Like I'm not expecting the defense to be the steel curtain or anything, but I feel like the people are acting like they're going to be the worst defense in the league. Like, no, they're going to be relatively decent.
Calvin Ridley, another offensive piece, like they're saying in chat.
I guarantee you Calvin Ridley sniffs the end zone this week.
Yeah.
It's just a classic. People were so frustrated with his role in the Jags. Realistically, I just don't think he fit in the way they were trying to use him in that offense. This offense, the Callahan offense, is just so much better for him. So, I know he has a pretty tough matchup in the DB that he's going to see, but I think it's written in the stars.
Okay. I do like the defensive additions that the Titans have added, but I don't think they'll really be proving their worth in this game. I thought this total opened up a little bit high, between these two
I
squads
think there'll be
in
some
this
points.
game. I agree. And maybe we'll get a special teams touchdown like you were talking about. Maybe you're seeing some visions, so you get a crystal ball or some shit.
Yeah. You can give me a Snead pick six, something crazy.
Sure. Kind of like the over in the Texans-Colts game that I talked about earlier. It's a little bit of a square over where I see two young QBs shining. I feel like it'll be the same thing. You got Caleb Williams, who I think is going to be him, and he's going to prove that this season. He might not prove it with a win or a cover this week, but I think he will have some great fucking plays and passes, and he will lead that offense at least to some points. And the Titans, I mean, their offense, it's going to be night and day from last season. Personally, I think the new coach coming in is great. Will Levis is going to let it fucking fly, right? You're very high on him, and some of these other receivers on that team as well. I think both teams score some points, and we see these offenses thrive in this matchup. I don't even hate the over opening up at 45. The splits look great as well for this total as well for the over. 35% of bets, less than 50% of handle on that over. Yep. And we've seen the total move down a little bit, sure, from 45 to 44.5, but the over still juiced. I like points. I like the over in that game.
I agree.
Mainly from the Texans, right? Mainly from your boys Titans. Here, plus 3.5. Yeah. Titans, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I do think the Bears, maybe it's a little bit of respect where they opened up minus 4.5-ish, but now down to 3.5. You probably are on the right side there with the Titans as well. A team that nobody is talking about that spent more money than anyone else, the Titans. Yep. Let's see if Levis is him. We'll see.
Find out.
All right. W's. Is it time for meat on tape? PODs for the weekends. This is my favorite fucking segment in this segment. Sure. Two of our favorite fucking plays this weekend in the NFL, Jovan, and a couple teams we've been very, very high on this offseason. So not surprising to see them on the meat on tape graphic here. I'll get it started out with the Panthers, and please, Jovan, fill in. I'm sure you'll be on them as well. I just cannot resist Bryce Young and this new look offense with a much improved offensive line this season against a very overrated Saints team that I just don't see it with. I don't see it with Derek Carr. I don't see it with that defense. I'm not buying into their coaching staff, the organization. I'm not a big Saints guy this year. I really don't think anybody should be. And the Panthers are a team that we're extremely high on this season, Jovan. That spread coming down, from 4.5-ish to 3.5-ish, 4, depends on where you're looking, I think is a great sign for Carolina in the first place. And you talked about this game between these two teams last year. The Saints swept them. Very rarely do you see teams sweep each other, I feel like, in this division. And I feel like the Panthers are going to get their lick back, and they're going to remember that, right? We talk about the total in this game being higher as well. You like the over, you like points. I do too. I think they'll be coming from Carolina. Chuba Hubbard running the fuck out of the football. And I think you'll see Bryce Young take strides as well this season, and you're going to see him improve night and day already in week 1 with that QB coach coming over, QB guru, fixing him up as well. I am stoked to see what this Panthers team is about in 2024, and I think people are not hip to this team enough. They're going to put people on notice, and they're probably going to win this game outright in New Orleans.
Yeah, I'm in. The one thing that I don't know, swayed me a little more towards the over, which I guess works for the Panthers as well. Wow, Kish, W Kish.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that is actually insane. But when Bryce Young is on the move, I was reading something, I think yesterday. When he's on the move, he's one of the top 10 quarterbacks EPA per play wise in the NFL. Didn't do it all last year. And preseason is the preseason. But if you watch the Panthers in the preseason when he did play, he was outside the pocket a lot. So that's where I'm in the headspace of more explosive plays from both sides, but especially the Panthers. So I'm in on that, and we'll see how the Saints defense comes out at home. I'm interested to find out.
How did Baker Mayfield thrive last year? I feel like he was getting mobile all the time as well, making throws on the run too. I feel like that's part of this QB coach's bit. No?
Yeah, he's found little pockets within every quarterback's game. He got Geno on the move a little bit when he was better, when he was in Seattle. Baker was more like a play action guy, but he found what worked for Baker, and that became a thing throughout the rest of the season. He's going to find what works for Bryce Young, and I think he doesn't have to go too far to look at it.
Okay. All right. Big week for the Panthers this weekend. It looks like you're going with the Jags team total. You're seeing some points. Sure.
Yeah, I just want to back him to score points because that's my crutch. That's my crutch, and this wasn't even a Jalen Ramsey potentially being outbet. I don't care if he fucking plays or whatever it's going to be. The focus in the offseason for this entire offense was, first getting Trevor Lawrence healthy, which was key. He was dealing with an injury all of last season, and I faded him a lot of last season because of that. He wasn't fully healthy. The offense didn't have chemistry. Like we talked about with Ridley, the offense really, wasn't being used to the full extent. Now I feel like they brought in wide receivers that it works for. They brought in even like Gabe Davis. Like I think he's going to be used in a way that he wasn't used in Buffalo. They brought in, or they still have Christian Kirk, who I think is in a better role. They obviously have Brian Thomas. They have Ingram, who's going to be used more in the red zone, especially. This offense is going to mesh well. And as good as the Dolphins seem to play, I don't know, week 1 or early in the season sometimes, the defense is not really the one that stands out. It's the offense. So the question mark for the Jags team is going to be the defense. I didn't want to die on that hill, even though I do still think they win this game. They're putting up points in this game, and I will gladly die on that hill. They're stretching the field vertically. You do that against this Dolphins defense, you win games. So all the Dolphins, especially in the secondary, are going to fuck around and find out about T-Law today or this weekend.
2 words, chat: points. Lots of them. Lots of them, especially from the Jags. Okay, yeah. Sign me up, Jovan. I fucking love our NFL plays this weekend. Look, I love our college football plays too, but there's something about these NFL plays. I feel like we're going to hit a lot of fucking bets on the gridiron this weekend. I'm stoked.
Nope.
Absolutely stoked. We got a sub bank coming in from AKA Bob34. Giants ML this weekend. Fuck the Vikings. I don't know if I can get down with that. I'll be honest. I kind of like the Vikings as a favorite on the road with Sam Darnold. Not a game I'm probably going to bet, but I do lean the Vikings. Talking about some other honorable mentions, I like the Commanders Bucks over 41. Jovan, I'm surprised you didn't have that somewhere on your sheet, but would love your thoughts on that total. I know it's dropped a little bit. Maybe it's weather related. Right?
That's what I'm waiting to find out.
All right, let's see how the weather looks then closer to Sunday on that one. But I do like points in the over in that game as long as it's on a fucking monsoon. I feel like both offenses have great fucking matchups against these secondaries and will thrive, and we'll see Daniels use his legs as well. I like the Jets plus 4.5 are another bet I like for the weekend, but I know that's on Monday night, right? We'll talk about that more next week. A couple college football honorable mentions that I meant to say. I like Michigan plus 7.5. I did mention that. Bowling Green plus 35 against Penn State. Watch out for this Bowling Green team, man. They might fuck around and win the MAC. They're pretty solid, and I know Penn State is a covering machine. Fading them is a death wish, but I cannot ignore that spread moving down a little bit in Bowling Green's favor, and I think they keep it within 5 touchdowns personally. I like that plus 35. I think they stay competitive on the road there against Penn State. Sam Houston State plus 21.5 against UCF. I know you like UCF, Jovan, but Sam Houston looked really fucking sharp in week 1. I think they carry that confidence into week 2, and they keep that game within 3 touchdowns against UCF. Really tough road opponent, but I do think the Bearcats have luck on their side this season, and they looked much improved in week 1. And then, sure, there he is, Brad Cornelson, you son of a bitch. And then one more honorable mention for college football here that I forgot to mention earlier, NC State plus 10. I like them with the points this weekend. They barely skated by, looked like shit. They were in a close game in week 1, did not look great, but McCall's stats did at the end of the game. I feel like they're going to keep their foot on the gas pedal, much like Texas A&M and Virginia Tech, like we talked about. Their week 1 win was not really impressive. And I think they can honestly win this game outright, potentially at home. I would not be surprised. I'll take the 10 points, though, with NC State. Any other honorable mentions, Jovan, that you have or comments on those games for NFL or college?
I mean, do you want me to go through a full list of those before we do PP squares, or
whatever you want to do?
I mean, I guess I can run through some of them, but rare time for me, you're probably going to catch me backing Oklahoma State, which is up to 10 right now. And early in the week, I've already heard plenty of Arkansas plus 7.5 love, and now the line shot up to 10. I don't know why there's Arkansas love, because Taylor Green is not good. That team is not good. The defense also can't tackle. So, if you're going to get into a shootout with Oklahoma State, as much as I don't really care for that team, have fun, because that's not going to go well. Baylor too. I also kind of like on the road against Utah, leave it within 14 points, starting at 14.5. I think that game with Daquan Finn and the options and that they have offensively and the new scheme with Jake Spavital, who I really love and also comes from the Pac-12. I think that game stays close, even on the road. Can't go without mentioning the Notre Dame letdown spots that are always happening at shitty teams. I know we've seen some steam towards Northern Illinois, even though Miami-Ohio game is probably the one I want to target the most for that. So I probably could be in there. That might be it for college. Maybe fading the Nevada train as well with Georgia Southern ML. Nevada's bad. They're not good. That was the most fraudulent 2 games, I think, of all time, where Brendan Lewis really didn't have to do much because the other 2 teams were sputtering, throughout that entire game. The second he had to do something in both games, sold. So Georgia Southern, who is going to make this game high scoring, going to make this game weird. It's another one where like he's probably going to be in a shootout. And if you're taking Brendan Lewis in a shootout, good fucking luck because he ain't winning that game. So those are probably the honorable mentions for college.
Sure. Okay.
For NFL, I feel like we've covered a majority of it.
Yeah.
I will be joining you on that Browns under for sure.
Okay.
Late night. And we'll talk about the Jets more when we get to Monday, but it's probably it for me.
Okay. W's. Do we have eyes on the Georgia State spread now? I'm hearing Diddle Knight say
it's been flipping between -1 +1 for like 4 days.
Okay. Interesting.
State might have been a really bad choice, Garagoots.
He's already in too deep. I respect it. He's not giving up.
Wait, what?
Searching with State.
Oh, yeah. That was probably a bad idea.
Crazy
There's
choice.
a lot of states. That's okay.
Honestly, forgot that screen was on the stream.
That's all right. We'll move. We'll groove. Why don't we go to some prize pick squares for the NFL weekend? We'll wrap those up. Okay. Shocker. I've got CJ Stroud more than half a pick. All right. Have you seen that chart? Are you giving that a peep at all? Are you giving that a look? It's pretty fucking red.
Of course.
There's not a pick in sight, Jovan. CJ Stroud looking like the easiest, less than everyone backing, future MVP, future GOAT, next Tom Brady, next Pat Mahomes, CJ Stroud, right? No way the Texans miss the playoffs this year. No way they're not good. No way Stroud throws a pick, right? I fucking bet. He's already thrown a pick. I've already seen it. So let's just hope it's when he's on his own side of the field so we can get some fucking points from that for the Colts. CJ Stroud, who, by the way, is juiced to the over to throw a pick, which I thought was pretty weird against a Colts defense. It's really nothing special. I feel like it tells everything we already need to know. And he's coming into this game fat, happy, and complacent, talking all this shit in the offseason, seeming like he's already him. I need to see more from Stroud, and I think there'll be some serious defensive adjustments from these teams who had a whole year of film and an offseason to go in and fucking decipher and find ways to figure out how to stunt CJ Stroud. I think the Texans take a step back this year offensively, and I think the Colts, who might not have the best defense ever, but they're known for making some turnovers, I think they get one against Stroud in this game this weekend in a high-scoring affair. I just hope it's when he's on his own fucking 20, so the Colts can convert, right? Stroud, he's throwing a pick. I've already fucking seen it.
I'm
regretting not putting the Strouds more than picks in my goat whale instead of his less than touchdowns. Looking at this week 1 pick square. All right. Yep. And then Daniels, which, we've already talked about plenty in the last couple of weeks here, but as the weather, reports continuously, get kind of weirder and worse. And if it's going to rain on Sunday and be pretty windy, that's only going to help Daniels and his rushing yards. But even if it's fucking cloudy, 75 and sunny sunny and 75 and beautiful down there, Jovan as well, I still think he hits his fucking rush yards. So I'm not really worried about it. I am worried about the O-line, and I think that could potentially benefit him, like we've seen at times with Lamar Jackson running away, like people mentioned in chat, that Jovan's standing on business with. Maybe the fact that the Commanders' O-line isn't as solid could be a good thing for Daniels' rushing yards if he's running around like a chicken with his fucking head cut off. I've already seen it. That's the one aspect of this team I'm really worried we didn't shore up yet. And I think that could cause problems for the Commanders, but that could help him rushing-wise. And against a Bucs defense that I'm really not worried about, Jovan, respectfully, I think he gets this with ease. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets closer to 100 rushing yards and puts on an absolute fucking clinic against this old Bucs defense.
Yep. I'm certainly in on that. I think we see a big performance. Maybe I'm a little scared of the rain, but I don't think it's really going to matter all that much.
Yep.
So, and
W's. And yes, cool hand, Luke. In some capacity, there will be longer BTL extendo eps, Megalodon eps, like I like to call them, on Fridays. We just simply have too much shit to go over. Okay. Let's keep powering through here. We still have much to get to. Jovan, why don't you get us started off with Mostert and then Shaheed?
Yeah, so I talked about Devin Neal. That one had a little more football reasoning, I guess, than the other square I was going to mention. And this is a square I was talking about because we've heard nothing but Devon A-Chain love all off season, and I'm here for that because I'm not a Raheem Mostert guy necessarily, especially like in the touchdown department. I think there's going to be some regression there. So everybody's high on A-Chain as being the main weapon in that backfield, at least eventually. So I can get with that for the run game. And you've seen, I've seen a good bit of A-Chain in the receiving game looks so far this week. But I see this square hanging on the board for Raheem Mostert, 6.5 receiving yards. Now, one of the reasons that I would say I'm a little nervous just about the Jags defense in general, like play as the team total in that game. They're going to be blitzing a lot more this year on early downs, which means when Mostert is in the game, if you're smart and you're the Dolphins, what are you going to do? You're going to send guys out in the flat. You're going to craft up screenplays. And Devon Achane, I think, is going to be more of the third down back, at least early and to start this game. And I think he's going to be more of the rushing option. So I see the square on the board. Everybody loves Achane. 6.5 receiving yards for Mostert. This gives me big time vibes if he's going to catch a screen first play of the game and get this green. So like this is the one that's kind of the classic, why the hell is it up when you have the clearly better receiving option on the other side, much higher, that everybody loves. This kind of tells the story.
Yep. Could not agree more, Jovan, although I hate Raheem Mostert this season. I think that's a great surgical fucking square for week one.
Could be.
100%.
Could be.
100%. What about Shaheed? What are we liking about him and his receiving yards?
So I like the over in this game because I think there's going to be a lot of explosive plays. The Panthers are also playing a little more zone defense this year, which I don't know if it's a personnel thing because like most of the defense is still there when you talk about the secondary, but they're playing a little more zone defense. I talked about this last night when we were on Sweats. The two best Ravens wide receivers or Ravens pass catchers for zone defense were Zay Flowers and Likely. And outside of Justice Hill, those were really the only wide receivers on the field or only pass catchers on the field, it seemed like. Rashid Shaheed loves to beat man coverage down the field, but he's also a big-time zone buster too. So, like, I think if we're talking about explosive plays happening in this game, which I talked about some of them with the Panthers, I think the Saints are going to have their fair share too. Whenever the Saints offense shows up, it feels like it's off the random Rashid Shaheed bomb that I think makes football sense for this game, but it's also just like I think we're getting points in this game. I feel like I haven't watched the Saints game where they score points and Rashid Shaheed doesn't catch a bomb. So
right,
he's one of the rare Saints players that I actually like coming into the season. I think he's going to show that week one. And if the Panthers don't win, I'm afraid that this may be one of the reasons why.
All right. Well, shit, I hope he doesn't catch a fucking 100-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, that would suck. That would suck.
If he does, I hope the Panthers are fucking following suit. Maybe a Chuba Hubbard 99-yard touchdown run.
Yeah.
After a big punt. Sure. I like the squares. I love the sell jobs. I will be tailing the fuck out of these. Sign me up. Sure. Love this. Chat, we will post these puppies on the BTL Twitter as well. Don't you worry. But feel free to lock these puppies in now if you want to get an early start. You guys know I'm going to be pairing all these college ones, NFL ones together in 4 pieces. Sharp report today as a 4-man as well. And we're already seeing some bumps too. I'm hearing Mostert might be at 7.5 now. That's music to my fucking ears. Love that. Good. We did already cover college, and you will be able to go back and rewatch if you missed the college football weekend preview or anything else from today's show, the Sharp Report, today's plays, whatever. You can always go back on the YouTube and rewatch. Okay, so stay tapped, and let's keep moving and grooving here, boys. All right. Jovan, we still have a lot to go over for today and craft up. We got to go over the weekend craft sessions, 5 guys and Hail Marys, which I think is the chat's favorite thing to fucking do on the stream. I'm stoked to put those together. And we've got the squad ride as well, along with the college football squad ride vote for tomorrow. We're fucking dialed. What's up, Matt? How we doing, Beast? Jovan, do you want to dive in and start crafting up some of these weekend lineups and parlays?
Yeah, I feel like we're already deep into the NFL and college football talk. Feel like we get that finalized, then we can circle back to rest of the MLB slate / Packers, Eagles, and squad ride.
W's. Love that. Could not agree more. Okay. Any college football plays for tonight? Did not love them. We did talk about them as well early on, but really not liking those 3 moose-shit games.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's get to work here. I think it's time for a little 5 guys lineup craft sesh. Unless you want to start with the Hail Mary, what do you prefer?
Let's go 5 guys.
Let's start out with the 5 guys. Do we have that video up and moving? We got that dusted off? Can you take me to 5 guys, Goodsy? I'm getting hungry. Let's move. Unbelievable. Okay, we're going to have a better one of those in coming weeks here, folks. Don't worry, but that one still geeks me out. We're literally in a 5 guys. Jovan, let me go ahead and give a breakdown for the people if they don't know what the fuck that was and they're confused. Maybe they weren't around last year. Here's what we do every Friday, guys. If you couldn't tell, we're fucking talking about plays for the weekend. We got college on Saturday. We got NFL on Sunday. We got winners over here. We got winners over there. All right. We also craft up a 5 guys prize picks lineup with 5 gentlemen for the weekend. College football, NFL. You know, when college basketball comes back around, sure, we're throwing some of those squares in there too. Fuck it. Pretty much anything goes for the weekend, and we craft it up to sweat out and hopefully smack. We cashed a couple of these in the past. Jovan, I know we already have a couple back pocket squares that we're loving. Do we want to start with college football? Maybe start out with Saturday here. I don't need to reach for any Friday squares for tonight unless we absolutely love them, which I don't think I'm willing to put meat on tape for the squares tonight to go in here yet.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
W's. So why don't we go ahead and get started out with some Saturday college football for the 5 guys lineup on Prize Picks here, chat. And let me know if you guys have any squares that you're putting meat on tape for this weekend as well. Okay, feel free to help us out. If you got something surgical, let us know. Plain and simple. And yes, if anybody disagrees with the statement, you can go ahead and leave. Okay, the door's right over there. Straight up. It's not even close. Jovan, any college football squares looking at you funny that you really want to put in this 5 guys lineup for the weekends?
Well, I absolutely despise noon games in the 5 guys or the Hail Mary because I just don't want to kill it early if they chalk. I feel pretty confident that we're not doing that when we're going to Cincy with Sorsby.
All right, so you want to get started out with Sorsby? I have zero qualms with that whatsoever.
Yes.
Zip. All right, we'll get started out with Sorsby here. We'll take his combo, right?
Yes.
258.5.
Yep. Which usually I wouldn't care for that too much if the guy wasn't literally Lamar, but they have design run plays and the offensive line also returns every single starter. So don't think he's getting sacked many times, if at all.
Okay. Goodsy, can you scroll down the spec there so I can get the number? I think it's 258.5, I believe. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm in. You know what square I love?
Let me hear it.
I really, really like this fucking tight end square for Jack Velling against the Terps in a letdown spot. I know Michigan State's offense sucks, Jovan, but that total's high and for good reason. I think we're getting points, and I think Michigan State puts up a couple of their own. This kid did not get the rock or get enough targets in week 1. They're going to make him a focal point of the offense in week 2, and he's going to exploit some of those mismatches in the secondary for the Terps. I really like this Jack Velling square, man. You trust me?
All right. I'll trust you on that one. I don't trust Aiden Childs, but I'll trust you.
Trust me on that one. Okay. We'll put Jack in that puppy. He's still at 23.5. Love to fucking see it. So we've got, what time was that Cincinnati game at? Were you talking about that being at noon? You're that confident you want to put it in? W.
Yeah.
We got this one as a 3:30, Geyserman. Love that it's spread out a little bit too. We've got 2 college squares already. I don't want to just put in, our fucking favorite squares from the weekend previews in this. We can diversify a little bit. Do we want to go to the NFL first and come back to college if we need any more? Do you have?
We'll go to the NFL first.
I'm in for that. Let's go take a peep at some of these NFL squares, Jovan, and see what they got cooking up over there for us. Chat, let us know if you have any NFL squares you're targeting for Sunday. Feel free to get involved. Okay. I mean, I hate to just put in squares we've already talked about, Jovan, but I don't see a world where CJ Stroud doesn't throw a fucking pick.
So you're dropping beef on table for him to throw a pick. I am, of course, down to put that in the entry.
He is throwing a fucking interception. I'm putting beef on tape. Beef on tape.
And I will counter your beef on tape, or not counter it, but we'll take my beef to Raheem Mostert.
Wow. That's some beef.
That's some beef. So we got four from the squares, and then we can get 2 others. It's one.
I think we got to keep it to 5, eh? 5 guys.
One others. Yeah.
All right. Raheem Mostert over 7.5 receiving yards now.
Yeah.
Look at him moving up in the world.
Literally bet.
What do you think, chat? Do we just fade Christian McCaffrey and call it a day?
Krabs. We're already going to Monday talking about fading CNC.
No, I just wanted to get that out there. I just wanted to get it out there. I just wanted to say it.
Got to throw a Jag in there.
We could throw a Jag
have something
in there.
in that game though, so I'm not running to it. The thing about the Jags that makes it so difficult is they have so many different guys. Like week 1, it feels very difficult to target one.
God, I've never seen you guys get more pissed in your life over a joke. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want Mikey Over receiving yards, Kish says. We already have a
on
weird...
the board?
No,
I mean,
it's
he
not.
might-
It is not. It is
Okay,
not.
okay.
That just got Jovan so brick.
If that was on the board, I was making that play of the year.
I mean, yeah.
Off
There's
rip.
no way. Gosh, man, where do we want to go with this?
We have a lot of angles. I feel like we can stick to the NFL because we have a lot of stuff maybe we didn't quite mention yet. Do you want to fade any Cowboys?
Levis, yards, something like that.
Would not be opposed to either of those two. I'm looking through some of my favorite categories here. Seeing if anything's sticking out. I like those two angles, though, gents. I really do. Now, I don't know if I can get on Pax Picks Wave and fade CD yet.
I think if we're fading the Cowboy, it's got to be Dak, no?
Do we
Dak
want
Prescott.
Do we want
What
someone
it's
from,
worth.
Rushing yards.
Go ahead, Goots.
Do we want someone from Manders Bucks, like Jaden Daniels? I know that would be all five from the preview.
We could go with Godwin and pivot there, and that's how we
Okay.
could get Godwin involved, who's going to have an absolute fucking field day.
I feel like we're already going to nuke like an SGP for that game, though.
You're right. You're right.
I feel like
Well,
this is we need to diversify a little bit.
Austin
what it's
Matthews
worth.
goal. I bet.
For what it's worth, Krabs. Dak had a 1.5 passing touchdowns on the board early this week. It got taken off, and now he has a combo touchdown because minus 160.
I mean, Jovan. Look at the 1.5 pass rush receiving touchdown square they have now up for him.
I'm aware.
Have you been looking at that, huh?
Yeah.
That's very interesting. It's very interesting. Now, I also wouldn't mind just saying fuck it and fading his fantasy score. Or
That's what I was
anything
about
else
to say.
either.
I was about to say.
Because I like his less than rush yards. I like his less than pass yards. I like his less than literally everything. Why don't we just take his fucking fantasy score less than 17.5?
Not going to hear any arguments from me.
I'm in, bro. We need a nasty under in this, and that could be the one.
That could be it right
That
there.
could be the one. I'm in. Dak fucking Prescott. Less than 17.5 fantasy score.
That feels dialed.
Wow, I love all these squares. We got Sorsby more than 258.5 pass plus rush yards. We've got Jack Velling more than 23.5 receiving yards. CJ Stroud more than half a pick. We've got Raheem Mostert more than 7.5 receiving yards. And Dak Prescott to close us out, less than 17.5 fantasy score.
Rushing yards, I bet.
It's okay, Gootsy. You're
Yeah,
clicking a lot of
there we
buttons
go.
over there.
So
There we
many-
go.
There we go. That's fucking beautiful, chat. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Do we dare lock this in now before it gets taken off? I remember having nightmares about that shit last year when this stuff would get bumped or taken off right after we give it out. Maybe we lock this puppy in now, Jovan.
Yeah, we might have to log in.
Sorsby, Velling, chat. We're going to move and groove, and we're going to do a Hail Mary parlay on the books next. So get ready and start dropping some of your favorite fucking book ML plays or just book plays in general for the weekend. Okay. We got Brandon Sorsby. We got Jack Velling. We got Stroud up and moving. More than half a pick. I fucking love that
Yep.
square so much. We got Mostert doing his thing, catching maybe a pass, maybe two. And Dak Prescott fade. I mean, yeah, sign me fucking up. You kidding me?
Yep.
Imagine not tailing the first 5 guys lineup of the season.
It's
Like,
mandatory.
actually imagine that.
Mandatory.
I can't. I cannot imagine it. I'm locked in. And I will drop the link here to Gootsy, and he can put it in the chat for you gentlemen if you would like to tail.
Send
Okay.
link with picture as well.
Okay. Bada bing, bada boom, chat. Let's fucking go.
There we go.
All right. That link will be dropping shortly here, chat. Okay, we're locked in. W's. Dak's not doing shit. I'm so fucking ready. Browns defense is them. They're going to reprove it once again to the people. All right, now it's time for the fucking Hail Mary, Jovan. Are you ready to craft up a parlay on the books? It's smacking this weekend.
Let's get it up and moving.
We've cashed a couple of these in the past. Gucci, run that shit.
A lot of bad bitches in the building. Amen. A couple real niggas in the building. Amen. I'm finna kill niggas in the building. Amen. I tell her way to 50 bottles and she
All right, chat. Much like the Five Guys Prize Picks lineup we just crafted up, we do a Hail Mary for the weekends. Typically around this time of year, it involves college and NFL. Once we get to college basketball, maybe throwing some of those in there every once in a while. But Hail Mary, and for good reason, the name fits. We need a weekend football parlay to sweat out college and NFL, Jovan. I'd say we start in college on Saturday and see what we're loving. And we can pick some plays we've already talked about. We can pick some others. Chat, get involved as well. Let us know your favorite college and NFL plays of the weekend. Be a part of this. Okay, get involved. Don't just sit there. Jovan, what are some of your most confident college football plays that you are just obsessed with this weekend?
My meat on tape is that over to start us off. Which, again, I despise 11 a.m. early cake. But when I feel confident as I am in this one, I want to put it in.
Yeah. Okay. I could get down with it. Pitt Cincy over, Jovan. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Correct.
Okay. We still seeing 62.5.
Some 63s on the board now.
Yeah, I figured we wouldn't be able to get that number for long. I knew it. I'm in. We'll start out with that. And that's a noon start, like you were just saying. And that's the foundation right there. Boom. That's where the magic happens. Okay. My favorite college football play of the weekend. I mean, I fucking love Iowa State and Syracuse, man. Both those dogs at +3. I don't know if there's one of those two that's looking at you funny, but I love both those plays equally as much. It was really tough for me to decide which one was meat on tape. What do you think?
I mean, I like Iowa State, probably a little more than Syracuse, but I like them both. Honestly, like this could be maybe a little less so with Iowa State, but I wouldn't be mad at putting the MLs in either of these.
Interesting.
Get a little juicer in there.
You know, I could be convinced on a little bit of Cyclones ML or a little bit of Syracuse Orange ML. I could be convinced. Can we keep out VT? Yes, we can keep out VT.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I was going to say, I feel like the points are pretty valuable in Iowa State, maybe not as much with Syracuse. So if you were to want to go Syracuse instead, I would not be mad at just putting the ML in there.
Don't take Syracuse with how you've been picking. Take Georgia, Texas. Syracuse wins. I mean, do people have more than one or two brain cells? I don't know if they do, man. Ron will 100% have some PLL plays tomorrow, bro. I think both dogs win in the PLL tomorrow, by the way. I think it's Iowa State, Jovan. I think we keep the +3. We play conservative. We don't go for the jugular just yet. It's week 1. Okay. Or I guess week 2 for college. But let's go with Iowa State +3. It's probably that's my most confident play.
Okay.
But it's close. It's close with Syracuse. I'll tell you that much. Any other college plays you just cannot live without, Jovan?
I mean, I don't want to double up on overs, especially at the same number, so I'm not going to recommend that, but I don't see how that USC game is not going over, too. That could be one to circle back on after you go through NFL.
All right, let's look at some NFL. We'll keep that over in back pocket. Okay.
That could be a very fun late night sweat after the first.
That could be. That certainly could be, Goots. I definitely could be convinced. All right, let's look at some NFL, some of our favorite plays. I mean, Jovan, there's a couple that you and me are pretty fucking aligned on. And I'd say that involves the Jags in some capacity, maybe the Panthers in some capacity. Gosh, man, I like all these NFL plays so much, man. I love that Browns under as well. That's fucking smacking. It's not fun, but it's hitting. My gut is telling me
I feel like NFL is where we diversify a little bit.
I feel like we put that Cowboys under in there. I'm very fucking confident that's max.
I mean, I'm very down for that. Very down for that. That might be the tuck, depending on if we're going to Sunday or Monday night with this, which I don't think we are.
All right. So we've got Pitt, Cincy over 63. We've got Iowa State +3. We've got the Cowboys, Browns under 41, Jovan. Where else are we dropping in the NFL?
Do we think the Bills are losing that game?
No.
So we are missing an ML piece, are we not?
I'm more than down to put in one greaser in this. And if it's the Bills, it's the Bills. Let me scroll through the board one more time and see if there's any other favorites that are looking at me funny. I'd rather go Bills than the Bears, that's for sure. You've pretty much swayed me at least back to even there on the Titans and the Bears. The Bills I like better than the Bengals that sketched me out. We're not putting the Bengals ML in here. I'll tell you that right fucking now. We're not doing it.
Yeah, can't do that.
Seattle, I like, and I know you're.
Yeah, I know you weren't fully with me on that. I kind of know that, so I didn't even bring that to the table.
I feel like it might just be the Bills, dude. It might just be the Bills.
Give me the Bills. I feel like all of our winning Hail Marys have had a greaser ML in there.
Let's put the fucking Bills in there. We don't need, 5 crazy plus money underdogs. This is a 5-team parlay. Okay. We can keep it simple here. And we can stick with, just a good old fashioned fucking Bills ML.
I think we either now take the Jags ML or we pivot back to that USC over and then we tuck in with the Browns under.
What do we think about the Jags, Jovan?
Do we want
the dogs? The Jags is just I'm sweating. I feel like I'm sweating too many things at that game at that point. Because I'm gonna have team total. You're gonna have the points, ML, and the Hail Mary entry, triple threat.
My gut's telling me to put that college football over in here. That's what my gut's telling me.
Music to my ears.
Yeah, that could be the good sway piece.
I feel like that's what my gut's telling me to take here. Is take that late night over in Utah State and USC at 63.
This is it right here.
Points.
Right here.
Points.
Over in Pittsburgh, Cincy, Iowa, over in USC, Bills ML, under in Cleveland.
Wow. What does it pay out?
It is plus 1927.
Was that with ML or +3 for Iowa State?
ML.
Oh, I like the +3.
Yeah, I feel like we take those.
I thought we were doing ML.
Let's do +3 there.
All right.
Let's see what that gives us. Hopefully it's plus 1,500.
I'll fix it.
Yeah, Skywalker says he's seeing plus 1,600. That's plenty.
Yeah, it pays.
That's about where these were last year. I mean, they were anywhere from plus 1,100 to plus 2,500 last year. And we hit, I think, 2 of these last season. Yeah, would love to run that back this year.
Maybe we snag hook Krabs.
Good snag hook.
You want plus 3.5?
I mean, I feel like that. There's probably not a game on the slate where half a point matters or could matter more than that game.
There's only one problem with that, and that I'm worried about people's books not letting them do that or having the ability to buy the points, right? If they're not in the state where they can do it.
Everywhere.
I feel like you can. Maybe chat can confirm and get rid of my doubts.
Universal.
Yeah, but I've seen some shitty books. They're all saying you can buy it. Holy Howitzer says he cannot buy it.
No way. Holy Howitzers can buy hooks.
You might be able to buy hooks, Holy Howitzers. We might have to have a call after this. The hook makes it plus 1,500.
Holy Howitzers cannot have Mickey Mouse books.
All right, I'm down I'm down to buy the hook. Let's make it plus 15 hundo. Lucky number 5. That's great vibes. No need to get any cuter. Let's buy the hook at plus 3.5. I'm in. I'm in.
Plus 1,500. This feels right, dude.
It does. So we've got Pittsburgh, Cincy over 63. Iowa State plus 3.5. We've got Utah State, USC over 63. We've got the Bills on the ML. And we've got the Cowboys, Browns under to tuck us in.
That's how you diversify a portfolio right there.
That's
So
one of the most diversified
dude.
portfolios I've ever seen in my life. Okay, that's looking beautiful. Looks like a snack. I'm locking that puppy in, chat. Plus 15 hundo. Get involved. Okay, I already locked in the prize picks lineup as well. The 5 guys. We'll drop the link to that in chat right now as well. Okay. Please get involved. Please tell that puppy before we see any more bumps or squares taken off the boards. We've already seen Raheem Mostert's fucking receiving yards getting bumped up. Crazy. Okay. Do not fucking wait. Get involved. All right. W's. Well, I feel fucking great after going over those first 2 back-to-back weekend previews, Jovan. Oh my goodness. The NFL one just hit different. I'm fucking stoked for this weekend. Jack, can we get some fucking W's going? I know you guys missed those NFL and college football weekend previews. And looks like Daniel opened up the graphic. It already said plus 15
from last year. And already said plus 1,500.
Wow.
2 words, chat. Meant to be.
Meant
to be. Okay, that's fucking beautiful. Love that. Pax picks. I saw you gave out a subby as well a couple minutes ago. Don't want to let that get swept. Along with Jason 0922. Is there a Panther over to take in New Orleans? He's asking. Is there anybody on the Panthers you're looking to target, Jovan? Maybe a little Deontay Johnson, maybe Chuba Hubbard rushing yards, which is probably what I would go with. Maybe a little Thielen early season love. Remember how good he was early in the season last year, but they got a new offense, so a little bit worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think Chuba's going to get a lot of touches, whether it's in the run game or even he's going to get some sprinkle in the receiving game. So I think he's the guy. I also wouldn't rule out the guy that nobody's talking about, Jonathan Mingo, who was a little disappointing or has been pretty disappointing so far in his career. But I'm trying to think of the guys. I know it's a little different of an offense, obviously, but the guys who got targeted quite a bit when Bryce Young was on the move for the few times he was last year was Mingo. And I saw that in the Bucs games a couple times too. So that's a guy I wouldn't rule out either. I know everybody likes Deontay. It's just like I don't really know why, because it's probably the toughest matchup on the field, and I get that, but I think Chuba gets a lot of touches. That would be my A1.
Chuba rushing receiving yard combo?
Yeah.
Love that. Love that. All right, chat. We could be here all fucking day and sit around and answer your guys' questions, and we love nothing more, but we got to get to the fucking squad ride, boys. We got to find you guys a winner for not only tonight, but for Saturday college football as well.
Before we do that,
what do you got, Gucci?
Fastest in its glory.
Okay.
Wow.
Already fucking done. Daniel's absolutely dialed. He's probably fucking tailing that as well. Chad, I'm fucking stoked. Daniel is joining us down in Tampa this weekend for the Bucs Commanders game. I cannot fucking wait to sweat out that puppy with him. Let's fucking go, Daniel. Let's have a weekend, bro. Cannot wait to link up. Chat, feast your eyes. It's absolutely beautiful. This is probably going to make you hungry, and not only for food, but for winners as well. And this could be one right here, a 5-piece. Hold the fry. Little 5 guys lineup for the weekend, college football and NFL. Okay, get involved. Don't be scared. Don't put $1,000 on it, but throw $100 on it and get involved. Okay, don't just sit there. W's. I think it is Browns ML try, but I like the under a lot better. Okay, W's. All right, let's keep moving here, Jovan. Are you ready to get to some squad ride action?
I'm ready.
Fuck yes. We want to do today's or college football first?
Let's go to today's.
Let's run it. Gucci, run that shit. I want to see that train. Sure. We got Turner Mack in chat saying you might DoorDash 5 guys for the vibes. Yeah, that'll be your whole rent. Yep. That'll be $1 million, but worth it. All right, let's lock in here, Jovan. Squad ride, W play yesterday, W veto card, Gucci, W pivot, although it wouldn't have mattered. Probably could not have picked an easier play on the board yesterday to smack. So great fucking work there. Knock on woods. Back to 1-1 this month. Let's finish the week strong, and let's be positive in the win column here this month, Jovan, after a dub tonight. Where are we starting? What plays tonight are you loving? I know the card's not great. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Maybe with the football game, we start with that.
We start there. I mean, I like the over. You like the Eagles. I'm fine with putting those both in the vote, letting people decide.
Same.
Just like we did yesterday.
Are we still seeing 49.5s aloof?
Yep.
Sure. Good. Let's run that. We'll run Eagles ML. We'll let the chat decide where their football bets reside in that game. Jovan, I'm not going to lie to you, man. I like these baseball plays I have today more than the NFL game. Is that weird? Is that crazy? I really like the Nats ML, although I understand if we just keep that out, just, for the fact that it's the Nats. But the Astros team total under 4.5, I'm absolutely in love with as well. So I'd love to vouch for that to go in at least.
Hear me out while we're talking about team totals. You like the Nats. I like the overs because of their bats. Do we dare do it? Meet in the middle.
Huh. What is the prize picks board showing you for the Nats today? I looked at the picture.
I'm on the Luis Ortiz earned run square.
It's a great start.
Yeah. I mean, that's at minimum like 3 in the first 5 that I'm betting on.
Yeah, we're getting those runs, bro. Let's put the Nats team total in there.
Yes. Yeah? No, nobody wants to bet the fucking Nats, but I'm telling you it's a winner, chat.
Suck it up, chat.
It is let's say this. It's a better matchup with a rat shit team than there was yesterday with the Pirates facing the Nationals.
Suck it up, chat. If you don't want to vote for it, don't vote for it, but at least go take a look at that Ortiz prize pick square before you bitch. Go take a peep at that one for me, will you? Because he's gone 15 straight innings scoreless, like Jovan was saying, and it shows on that prize picks chart. And he's facing the Nats today, and they have that square up. That makes sense, right? No Mats, bro. It's fucking September. Okay.
Yeah, we just bet on the Pirates, who got no hit the day before in September.
And we're taking DJ Ers, who respects our coins. I guess we're not really backing him, to be completely honest with you, but
yeah, we're not.
It's a little bonus.
Yeah.
All right. What is the Nats team total at, Jovan?
I'm getting there right now. Or maybe I'm not. I might have skipped it.
That's okay. I'm seeing the Nats team total is either really juicy 3.5 or plus chicken 4.5.
I think we go plus chicken 4.5.
I think we do too, and that's where it's more easily accessible as well. Let's go with the plus chicken 4.5. That teaser was hard, right, Krabs? Trent, I literally fed that to you with the under, and you manipulated it and took it as a winner, and I'm happy for you. But don't act like I didn't tell you to take the under, and it fucking hit. Good. Good job. All right, Nats team total over 4.5. And can we put the Houston team total in there too, man? I fucking love that play, the under.
Yep, I'm down for that.
Okay. Sure. That's a nasty, nasty play that I think is going to pay out. Okay. A little Astros team total under 4.5. That one is a little bit more juicy, but that's okay. We have the Nats at plus chicken in there if they want to bitch about the juice. Okay. Any other plays you want to put in here, Jovan? I feel like this is pretty Krabs heavy this afternoon.
I don't know if it's too Krabs heavy, but I would not mind. I didn't know where your head was at with the Jays, putting them in there for another fat plus chick. I like them. We didn't talk about, I guess, a couple of the other games in the slate. I think there could be runs early in Rays O's. We have Turkey Bass and Turkey Kramer. And every Rays game seems to slow down after the first 5 because the bullpen is so good. Not the Orioles is, but I think we could see runs early. I would not mind a first 5 over there potentially if that tickles Jim.
I'll be honest, Jovan. When you pitch a fucking plus chicken baseball play, especially, like you don't have to say much more, man. I'm locked in. Toronto was a great sell job. They're catching a little bit of steam. Knock on wood, you brought some pretty fat plus chickens to the table on the diamond of late, and it's treated us pretty well. Let's put that in there for the people.
I'm in.
I'm in. Sign me up. All right. Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners for the BTL Squad Ride tonight. Get fucking involved. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitter, that's great. That's cool. That's fine. But get your ass over to the Twitch chat at Bookit Sports and get your vote in. Okay. You have plenty of time. You got 2 minutes here. Hurry up. Lock the fuck in. Go, 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 go. Lock in, chat. We got a squad ride for tonight. We got NFL football involved. We've got MLB involved. No college football because these games are moose. All right? We don't want to fucking force. But we got 5 winners for you on this board that I'm absolutely in love with. And I'll tell you what, I'll have coins on all these plays. All of them.
That's why.
All of them. All right? Chat, what's it going to be? I'm seeing a lot of football votes. I'm seeing some Blue Jays love, and I'm seeing legitimately 0 votes for the Astros team title. One vote. Like not one singular vote. Okay, there we go.
Now.
We got one.
One person's got you.
Somebody believes. I mean, that's crazy. I've never seen the fucking poll get halfway through with no votes, and that was just.
He said it was good.
Just Goots being straight vibes.
Oh, now we're getting numbers.
Here they come. Chat, get those votes in. Hurry up. Go, 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 go. Like I always say, click the right button. Click your favorite play, your favorite sell job. Don't just be a piece of shit and not vote for my plays because you hate my fucking guts. Click the winner and the best sell job that you've heard today so we can all make coins and get rich together. That's the plan. Okay, we work for you guys. We're finding you guys winners for free. Okay, we're spoon feeding you, alley-ooping you some options, and you're clicking the right buttons as always. Okay, let's lock the fuck in. Let's find a winner. It's looking like right now it's going to be points in this NFL game tonight, the over 49.5. I got no qualms with that if it stands. Okay, Blue Jays getting some love as well, plus check. Got to respect that too.
Yeah, respect the Whales.
Sure.
You see what they're talking about in chat? T. Higgins doubtful for week 1.
Could be the difference. Could be big for Jamar Chase.
Yeah, if Jamar just had out of his ass and suits up,
be fucking better, dude.
That could be
fucking better. And we got a squad ride winner, Jovan. The over tonight on the gridiron over there in Brazil. Sure. How about 50+ points for the kids? Why not us?
How about them?
Why not us? All right. Love the play. We'll meet you guys at the cash counter when that shit smacks. All right. Before we get to the college football squad ride voting, we're going to do that right now as well. We're going to pump that puppy out too for tomorrow. And then Sunday, we will have a vote going out on the Bookit BTL Twitter where you can vote in a poll for the squad ride on Sundays. We're bringing those back as well. Okay. We will have cheat sheets for this weekend. We're fucking dialed in. We're finding you guys winners left and right. If you're not tapped in to not only the live streams and shows, but also the socials, the Bookit BTL account, our Twitter accounts, what the fuck are you doing? This is when we make our coins, okay? This is when we prove our worth, at least for me. Javon's been doing it all baseball season, but if you're not fucking tailing and tapped in, now is the time to get involved, okay? You still have plenty of time to get involved and lock in some plays for this weekend. We will have plenty everywhere. College, NFL, prize picks, books, you name it. We're fucking finding winners. Plain and simple.
Sure.
Okay? Jovan, we've got our squad ride for tonight. We need one for tomorrow, college football. Do we want to go ahead and put together some of our favorite plays for today or for Saturday? Excuse me.
We should.
Okay. Okay. Now, do we want to pick different ones than we put in the Hail Mary? Or are those just our fucking meat on tape? We're trusting our gut. We're putting our faves in there. I really wouldn't mind it as long as it's plays we love that are hitting, to be completely frank.
Yeah, because I feel like I know it's going to get the votes. So, I wouldn't mind doing that. I wouldn't mind diversifying either. Maybe next week we start doing squad ride voting for Saturday before Hail Mary. I didn't think about that.
Okay. Maybe we do our favorite plays. Like I really love Iowa State and Syracuse, man. I would like to vouch for those two to go in.
Put those in.
Iowa State +3, Syracuse +3. What about for you, Jovan? Which of your plays are you just absolutely salivating while you look at them?
I love both those overs. Thing is, they're just both also in the Hail Mary. You at least have one of your two plays that's not in there.
That's okay, though. We'll let the people vote. We'll let them decide. If there's overlap, there's overlap, as long as it's max.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Fair. Yep.
That's all I care about. All right, you want to go with little over in Utah State, USC, and Pittsburgh, Cincy. Both at 63 right now.
Yep.
2 +3s, 2 over 63s. That's really fucking weird.
That is weird.
Is there another play we want to sneak in here that maybe we came across today that we're loving? Let's take a peep through the board here, chat. Stick with us. We're going to wrap up here soon. Don't you guys worry. And we got plenty of content for you as well. Post-show today and for the weekend. NFL pods, 2 of them. Hold the fry. AFC and NFC both are out now on the Bookit Sports YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. Go fucking listen to them. Drop a like on the YouTube. All right? What else college football-wise, man? Maybe it's that under in Michigan, Texas.
Could be. I wouldn't be against that at all.
I like that play a lot that we talked about. I'm scrolling through the board, doing my due diligence. I also like Bowling Green, but that's nasty. It is down to 34.5 now, though. Great sign. I like your Aggies play 2. Maybe it's just that fucking under in the big game in Michigan and Texas.
Just the under in the big game, Krabs.
I kind of like that play. Are you in?
I'm in.
All right. I'll go ahead and add that puppy in there. Chat, we're going to vote for tomorrow's college football squad ride. Okay, so get involved. Under 42.5 in Texas and Michigan will be the final Infinity Stone. Under 42.5. Chat, 5 plays, 5 winners. Hurry up. Go, go, go. Lock in your fucking votes. If you're watching on YouTube, you're watching on Twitter, that's great. Get your ass over to the fucking Twitch chat at Bookit Sports so you can vote in the poll for Saturday's squad ride. Get involved. Okay, don't just sit there. Don't just listen. Get involved. Participate. Okay, it helps. Every vote matters. All right, hurry up. Go, 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 go. Like Yay Lads would say. Hurry up. Go, go, go. All right. Chat, lock the fuck in. I can already tell Bookit with Vegas is locking in his school, Syracuse. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And Iowa State just won outright. Yeah, why? Nobody likes that play. They hate that play's guts. I am absolutely obsessed with that play. I think Iowa State is them, and they're going to show that.
Kind of surprised at all the Iowa love. I guess maybe it's because they scored 40 points, or
that's probably why.
I feel like usually there's a lot more love for the dog in that game, no matter who it is. It's usually Iowa State, but I don't know.
And who in their right minds really wants to take the Cyclones though at Iowa after Iowa wins 40-0, puts up a 40 piece and holds the defense or holds the opposing team to 0 points? You know what I mean? People aren't in a rush to go get a Cyclones ticket, but I am. I got the Disney Fast Pass for that shit. All right.
Yeah.
Chat, lock in your votes. You got about a minute left. It's looking like it's going to be that Pitt-Cincy over, which I believe is a noon start on Saturday. Okay, get those votes in. Hurry up, go, go, go. They're trusting Jovan's college football meet on tape play, and I don't fucking blame them. One bet. I don't.
Yeah, I do feel so good about some points in that game.
Points. We got fucking Scoresby involved. Great name, great kid, great QB. All right, Pitt's offense can do enough, hopefully. They're running away with it. All right. Let's hope we get plenty of points in that disgusting Pitt and Cincy game. That should be an offensive showcase, right? Just an absolute fucking offensive fireworks show.
That'll be beautiful. Explosive plays, bad defense.
Let's fucking go. Chat, we're locked in for Saturday. Squad ride, Pitt and Cincy. Over 63. Get involved. All right. Don't just fucking sit there. W's. Couple things here before we move. All right, W show today. Can we get some W's for Goots in the fucking back end here? Absolutely grinding, making sure we're getting the right fucking screen shares and everything up today. Good shit, Gootsy.
Yes, sir.
That was a long episode, brother. Absolutely killed it.
What else I'd rather be?
Sure. Hope you learned something today too, Goots.
For sure.
Hope you learned something. All right. W stream today, chat. That was fucking awesome. It feels so good to be back. It feels so good to do an OG BTL Megalodon Friday episode. My fucking goodness. I'm absolutely juiced up for this weekend's plays, NFL especially. All right. And Jovan, we got a big fucking weekend, my man. We're heading down to Tampa tomorrow afternoon. We'll be there. Boots on ground, sweating out some college football, and then heading to the game at Tampa on Sunday afternoon. I cannot fucking wait, dude. I cannot fucking wait. You still think your Bucks have a chance, huh?
Have a chance? I feel like that's not what you usually describe teams who are playing the Commanders, Krabs.
Ooh.
I feel like it's the other way around.
Hey, man, it's a playoff team from last year. Not getting too much respect on that line. I don't know. Looks a little short to me with the rookie QB. Maybe we make a little deal here, Jovan. Maybe you bring an extra Bucks jersey with you. I'll bring an extra Manders jersey with you. Lord knows I have them. All right, I got plenty of extras. Maybe a losing team, losing player, losing fan has to rock the other player's jersey on Monday on BTL.
Sure. I'll be on.
Does that sound like a little game plan here? If the Commanders win, you got to wear a fucking Mendez jersey on Monday. If the Bucks win, I got to wear a nasty-ass Bucks jersey.
You want to know who I'm taking? I've already decided.
Who you taking, Gootsy?
Manders, I know.
I'm done
no
with Goots.
way you're taking the Manders.
I'm done with Goots. Out on Rav, out on Goots, out on whole squad.
Let's fucking go, Goots. Yes.
I got it back.
Lock in.
I have to.
Lock in.
I can't fade Jaden.
Jovan in a Tressway jersey. That might feed families.
Wow.
On a BTL Monday. Let's go, Daniel.
No
we
way.
got three Geysermans on the Mendez. And we got Jovan flying solo in his own fucking stadium.
Unbelievable, dude.
That makes my day. Let's fucking go. Arius, I got you, brother. I'll check it after this. Okay. Chat, hope you guys enjoyed the show today. You better fucking tune in every Friday and every damn day during the week, and you better check out those NFL pods. Do me a favor. I'm going to say it one more time. Go click on the YouTube links for the AFC and NFC NFL pods and let me know in the comments who you think is winning each conference. All right. Obviously, the AFC one, let me know who's winning the AFC and why you think it's the Chiefs or why it's not the Chiefs. And then for the NFC one, let me know who you think is winning the NFC from that conference. Okay. I'm going to go through the comments later today and reply to you guys and see where your heads are at. Let's see how sharp you're looking. Check out those fucking videos. At the minimum, do me a favor. If you learned something today, if you enjoyed the show, go to that YouTube link and drop a fucking like before you go do something else. All right. Help us out. Change a life. All right, guys. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube as well. We'll catch you guys on Monday right back here. Same time, same place. And Jovan, I'll catch you tomorrow. And Goots as well. And Daniel down in Tampa for the biggest game of my fucking life. I'm ready.
We will be seeing.
I'll have the Air Pegasus ones up and moving. The Mandos ones.
Do you have the new ones?
Nah. Didn't make it happen.
Didn't
make it happen.
I'd be a little scared. I'd be a little scared if you were strolling in Tampa with the new ones, but
yeah, no, that's a good point. Maybe I gotta go make a run to Dick's Sporting Goods real quick and go pick up a pair. Let's see what I can do. All right, chat. We'll catch you guys. We got Aris 18 closing us out the best fucking way he can, dropping a 5-unit sub whale. You're a fucking beast. Let's go, Aris 18. No surge today. Check out the pod. Drop a like on it. Go learn something. Go learn something about the NFL season. Go impress your friends in your gambling group chat after you listen to the podcast. All right? We'll catch you guys on Monday, same time, same place. You guys better tune into the socials this weekend. I'm going to be chirping Jovan plenty about his fucking moose shit box. We'll catch you guys down there. We'll be.